Yeah, Carl, that home run apple has not appeared as often at Citi Field, at least the one in the ballpark, as Mets fans would have hoped. Inside, another tough assignment against the defending World Series champs has not deterred the Met faithful. They have turned out in big numbers this weekend and a tall order tonight against a Dodger team who, for the first time since July 28th, by virtue of winning 6 out of their last 7, have actually gained some ground on the Giants. They're 4 back atop the NL West with under 2 months of schedule left to be played. As far as the Mets, many have suggested their best pathway to the postseason isn't the wild card. It's through a division where the top 3 teams are bottlenecked and separated by only 2 games at the start of play tonight. Welcome to Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. It's the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Mets. Sunday Night Baseball is presented by Taco Bell.
What an exciting night. One of the best pitchers of the generation puts on Dodger blue.
It's fun to join these guys because we have a great chance to win. It's going to take just a lot of work to be able to get there.
I want to be great. I want to go to my plate. To be the best, you got to go hard and do whatever it takes.
He struck him out all 3 times tonight. He blew it by him. 10 Ks in his Dodger debut.
It is an elite arm on the mound for the Los Angeles Dodgers to try to wrap up a 3-game sweep. Max Scherzer on the mound with Alex Rodriguez, Matt Vasgersian. His 3rd start as a Dodger, Alex. Max Scherzer has been everything Dodger fans could have hoped for.
And then some, the complete package. And he pitches with the intensity as Pete Rose used to run the bases, on fire all the time. Look, when they acquired Max Scherzer, the cynics said, oh, here we go again. The Dodgers with an embarrassment of riches. But the truth is, with Clayton Kershaw and no timetable of when he comes back, he's not an add-on. He is the guy the Dodgers will look on and lean on down the stretch.
And for a Mets team, as we switch the conversation to the New York side that's been challenged to score runs, look, fans here were hopeful that they had fixed things after a 3-game sweep of the Nationals last week. Pete Alonso hit a dramatic walk-off to finish off that sweep, yet the first 2 nights of this series against LA have not gone as well.
Yeah, look, Pete Alonso, he is the heart and soul of this team, and after winning the home run derby, he went on to continue to hit home runs. As of late, last road trip, 0 for 21, the team losing 9 of 11. He's been preaching positivity in a city that's known for what have you done for me lately. Well, for Pete Alonso, it's time for answer the call that he's been talking about.
Mets have a veteran decorated starter on the mound as well. He's making just his 4th start as a Met. 34-year-old right-hander Carlos "Cookie" Carrasco on the mound to try to prevent a sweep and make the home fans happy here in Flushing, Queens. A good one on tap tonight when we return. Starting lineups in the opening pitch. The defending World Series champion Dodgers, the homestanding New York Mets. Baseball is next. Put it on Instagram. Quick. Series began on Friday. A couple of 1-run wins for the Dodgers, a team that had no such success in 1-run games previously. Will Smith hit a big homer. A 4-hour, 18-minute affair wrapped up in a Dodgers extra innings win. Similar last night, it would take bonus baseball in the 10th inning. Cody Bellinger was the hero, driving in Corey Seager. And the Dodgers, again, a team that didn't have a whole lot of success in extra innings or in 1-run games, have won 2 such contests to start this series. Let's get you right to Dave Roberts. Taco Bell starting lineup for the Dodgers tonight. Trey Turner, the shiny new toy, at second base, leading things off. A trio of 2-time All-Stars follow in Muncy, Turner, and Seager. For Justin Turner, it's his first starting assignment since August 8th against the Angels. Groin problem conquered. Will Smith, he's been big this series. He catches and bats number 5. Chris Taylor, Cody Bellinger, ex-Met Billy McKinney, and starter Max Scherzer, who Tim Kirkjian predicted will earn a base hit tonight. Round things out for the Dodgers. And on the mound for the New York Mets, as we mentioned, the 34-year-old right-hander Carlos Carrasco. This is his 4th start of the year. Got off to a slow start, overcoming a series of physical problems. 3-4 last season with the Indians over 12 starts. It's still the best bulk sample size for the guy they call Cookie. His last assignment, Alex, was interrupted by rain on Tuesday. Went only an inning, allowed 4 earned runs. And the hope is tonight, as Luis Rojas told us, they can get perhaps up to 5 innings out of it.
Yeah, he really focused on how many times he gets up, not so much on the pitches, but this is a very, very capable guy, 6'4", 224 pounds. The Venezuelan gets out there with a fastball, a slider, and a change. His signature pitch has always been the slider. Over the last 2 years, the league's just hitting 141 against that slider.
Well, Mets fans, including Mr. and Mrs. regaling folks here tonight, are certainly used to watching Max Scherzer pitch against their team. That's not to say that it's gone very well over the years. So one would expect that perhaps tonight's plays out in similar fashion to last night's, with not a lot of base running activity and not a lot of action on the scoreboard because of the quality of the starting pitching. There's another guy very used to the confines here at Citi Field, ex-National Trey Turner leading things off for the Dodgers tonight. Trey looking to find his stride in his new uniform, 2 for his last 17. He has not drawn a walk in that stretch, and he's set to lead things off for the Dodgers here on the road tonight. Underway at Citi Field. You know, another note on the Dodgers in the extra innings games that they've won the last 2 nights. They started this series having lost 11 straight extra innings games, and losers in 12 of 13 one-run affairs. They've been able to flip that script, and as we mentioned when we went on the air, Alex, they're finally able to gain even a game on the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, I mean, the competition is fierce, but the Dodgers walking around and spending some time with them on the field today. This is a confident bunch, and this guy leading the way, Turner, is as good as it gets for leadoff, and he will get his comfort level here. Tremendous pickup, and obviously the guy on the mound tonight, Scherzer, gives a team, or any team, tons of confidence.
Ball and 2 strikes, the count to Trey Turner. 79 degrees, very pleasant night for baseball here in Flushing, Queens, and there's a base hit the other way for Turner.
Carrasco starts the game with 2 sliders. There's a fastball here. Get the foot down early and just explodes. Look at the foot down early, foot down, head down. Perfect.
Trey Turner aboard to start the ball game for the 2-time All-Star Max Muncy. Muncy 3 for his last 9, a couple of doubles in the series. And Turner, as the Mets are well aware, has terrific speed and base stealing acumen. He's swiped 22 and been caught only 3 times this year.
And Dodgers right off the bat showing off their muscles. They have speed at first base, power at the plate, power in contact with Turner on deck. It's a handful, and they come at you from 1 through 9.
So as far as the Mets are concerned, even with that sweep they earned over the Nationals last week, New York has dropped 9 of 13 in the month of August. Trying to stay with the rest of the pack in the NL East. Phillies and Braves and everybody in that division, everybody in that logjam seems to have their own warts. Luis Rojas as calm as can be. 0-1 the count to Max Muncy. You know, we talked to Louis before the game, and there's only so many buttons a manager can push in the absence of personnel. And unfortunately for the Mets, a big part of their storyline at this part of the season is who they are without. And
the Mets struggle start offensively. They obviously don't have DeGrom, but you need leadership to step up. And in all their great teams, they had the David Wrights, the Michael Kadyers, Pete Alonso, Conforto, guys that need to step up this time of the year, not only with their bats and with their actions, but also be a vocal leader inside that clubhouse.
I mean, it's a longer list of players that have spent time on the IL than haven't for the Mets. But in terms of both these teams, the injuries, the absences are a major part of the storyline. The Dodgers have been able to kind of plug away. They enjoyed great depth before all this hit. Muncy sends a slow dribbler to third baseman J.D. Davis will go to first to get the out there.
And Matt, you mentioned all the injuries, but even without Mookie Betts, the Dodgers are a handful. And you started with Turner, the right-hander, Muncy with power from the left side, and now Turner, probably their best hitter and has been their most clutch hitter over the last few years. Last night, the first hit comes in the 7th inning. Turner, within the first 5 pitches, first hit tonight.
It really does punctuate the lack of offensive pop when your starter, as Taijuan Walker did yesterday for the Mets, gets into the 7th inning with a no-hit bid, and you're unable to post the victory on a night like that.
It was a DeGrom type night. You know, the Mets fans have been very used to that. Good pitching, no hit. They want to get it all put together here. And tonight they need to get some runs early, especially if a guy like Max Scherzer, but do not let him get comfortable.
Justin Turner trying to get the Dodgers on the scoreboard first tonight. Turner, as we mentioned, making his first start since August 8th against the Angels. A groin injury had him on the shelf. He's been active this weekend, but not starting in the series until tonight. And it's a ball and no strikes to the LA Dodgers all-time postseason leader in just about every relevant offensive category. He's late on 94, and it's 1-1. You know, we're running low on the list of guys that actually still pitch, Alex, that you faced. Carlos Carrasco's one of the old guys that's still on the list.
Yeah, I faced both guys today. They had their way with me pretty much. Carrasco's a tricky guy, especially against righties, because of that slider. You know, he throws 95 to 96, and the slider's been that dominant pitch. Over the last 2 years, as I mentioned earlier, 141 batting average. You'll notice tonight he doesn't go from the windup. He'll be from the stretch all night long, whether men are in scoring position, whether they're on base, or base is empty. A more simple approach for Carrasco.
2 balls and a strike to count to Justin Turner, trying to pick up a runner in scoring position with 1 gone here in the top of the 1st. Called strike on a breaking ball. That slider very much a part of the arsenal, as you talked about. The last couple of years, it's been the story for Carrasco for much of his career.
Yeah, the last pitch is a front door slider. Look for him to give you his best 2 sliders. Try to punch out Turner here.
Corey Seager waits on deck with a man in scoring position. 2 balls and 2 strikes. You know, the glass half empty Mets fan would talk about the small returns offensively, the notable injuries to DeGrom and Syndergaard, and some of the things we've already discussed tonight. Whereas the glass half empty fan would say, despite all that stuff, this is a team that is very much still in the thick of it in the NL East.
Good slider there. And look, this is a very capable team. They have a lot of talent. They picked up Javi Baez. Yes, they're doing well, but they could do better, and they know that. And again, it starts with Conforto, and he's hopefully starting to heat up a little bit for the Mets. Alonso and their leaders.
Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Justin Turner. Well hit to left field. Smith on the run, looking up, and it's gone. And the ex-Met has done it to the former employer yet again. fans around here need no reminders of the one that got away, but they just got another 2-0 Dodgers.
And Mr. Turner has been Mr. Everything for the Dodgers. The 3-2 slider sitting all over it. Laid off the 2-2 slider. And here's the cement mixer. Foot down, head down. Bomba. Two Turners touch home plate. One with speed and one with power.
0-2 the count to Corey Seager. Seager's hit safely in 9 of 12 since returning from the injury list. A 2-run homer by Justin Turner, number 21 on his year, has opened the scoring early tonight. Seager's success against the Mets, and you see some of it right there, is a part of the Dodgers' big picture success story against the Mets. And why not peel into it now, given the start that they're off to? The Dodgers are 12-1 at this ballpark since May of 2016. Carrasco picks up the number and throws out Seager.
You can't say enough about Turner. He took the 2-2 slider and then sitting all over the 3-2 slider for the 2-run bomb.
You get a hug from Albert, you did something right.
Absolutely.
There's Will Smith now. Smith has homered twice in the series. Did he just add another? Smith on the look for that one, and yes, homers throughout the series for Will Smith. (3-0) Los Angeles.
Will Smith already the hero on Friday night, also on Saturday night, and tonight, third day in a row with a home run on the fastball. 94 miles an hour, good timing. Gets that foot down and the head down and stays hot. This is a very confident Dodger offensive team.
Boy, I love that side swing shot we saw. You talk about loading up. Here's Chris Taylor, a first-time All-Star this year, and a guy in the midst of a pretty good weekend himself. 3 for 8 in the first 2 nights. 2 homers and a 3-0 Dodger lead, 2 outs into the ball game.
With Max Scherzer as an opponent pitcher, it feels 3-0 feels like 13-0, so it would be imperative for the Mets to chip away early.
Carrasco in front of Taylor, no balls and 2 strikes. It's a Dodger lineup among its virtues that doesn't chase very often. And I'm sure Carlos Carrasco was aware of that in going over his assignment this evening. Plenty of power, even without Mookie Betts. And we've already seen that. 2-2 now.
And what makes the Dodgers one of the many things that make them a championship caliber team is their discipline at the plate. You're seeing Carrasco's best sliders and these Dodger hitters Just spit it on them.
He does get a strikeout to end the first, but plenty of damage done. Homers by Justin Turner, and for the third straight game, Will Smith. A half inning gone, already 3-0 LA. .3-0 lead for Max Scherzer, so stake to an advantage before he goes to work. 9-4 overall this year. About to make his third starting assignment as an LA Dodger. ERA in the mid-2s. A guy destined for Cooperstown at the end of his run, whenever it may be. Final year of his contract at the age of 37. And a guy who occupies a very prominent place in the lexicon of great starting arms around the league in modern history. He takes Brandon Nimmo for strike one. Let's get you to the rest of the Mets starting lineup, brought to you by Taco Bell. Nimmo, Conforto, and Alonso in the first. Michael Conforto's hit 4 homers against Scherzer. Nobody's ever hit more against Mad Max. Dom Smith, Jeff McNeil, J.D. Davis, VR, McCann, and Carrasco line things out against Max Scherzer tonight. Quickly in front of Brandon Nimmo, it's 0-2. The other way and in for a knock. That's a start to what you talked about a moment ago, Alex, chipping away at the 3-0 deficit.
You got to get the horses early, because if they get warmed up and they get comfortable, you're probably not going to get them. Here's a fastball. He fights off very nicely with 2-strike hitting. And you got to love that approach, not trying to do too much, and just fights it for a base hit.
So a chance now for Michael Conforto. Again, 4 career homers against Scherzer. One hop to Muncy, hot smash. Scherzer gets there. They do get the out at first base. Man, that was a rocket. Nimmo stays aboard and advances to second.
Excellent play here by Muncy. Converts himself into a catcher. Just blocks it. And just very good time clock. Scherzer gets over there. Plenty of time.
I'll go hockey goalie on you right there.
That's even better.
In hockey, they've at least got a pad there. That got him right in the belly. Ugh.
Well, that's going to leave a mark on that left wrist. Want to put some ice on that as soon as that game is over.
Nimmo in scoring position now for Pete Alonso. Even with the walk-off winner last week against the Nationals, Big Pete has driven in only 3 runs in his last 15 games. And these, quite frankly, have been the situations that have given the Mets fits the last month plus. Batting with runners in scoring position. They're 2 for 17 RISP in the series, and they're trying to deal with a guy who just doesn't give up a lot of damage with runners on base.
It's a double negative there. But if you're going to have a chance, you can do it early.
Two balls and a strike.
You love the matchup here, Matty. First pitch, 76-mile-an-hour curveball. Back-to-back fastballs in. Maybe look for a little slider cutter. Out of the way. Alonso should be thinking the other way.
2-1 pitch. He was, and he fouls it away. You'll see some pretty rough numbers for most of these Mets hitters' career against Max Scherzer, again with plenty of experience given Max's long tenure in the NL East. Scherzer has been really good against the Mets, and very, very good at this ballpark in particular. And Alonso tips that right in front of the plate. Smith to third. not in time. Got a 3-0 lead. Wide at third base.
That's a mental mistake. That ball should go to first base 10 out of 10 times. This ball is a very easy call. As a catcher, when you come out of there, you don't need to hear anything. You don't need any instructions. There's only one place to go. That's first base.
Justin Turner was pointing him to first base, and it was all too late. Boy, the Mets catch a real break, and now they've got runners at the corners with one gone. Big opportunity for Dominic Smith. Chases 96, and it's 1-1.
Alonso, known for hitting bombs 450-foot plus, hits one 2 feet and has the Mets in great shape here. And here's a situation, Matty, where the Mets have to capitalize. You have to at least get one, make this game 3-1. You're looking for contact and preferably pull contact in the air.
Chases that same high fastball. Here's a replay of what we just mentioned. This is Turner trying to point Will Smith to the proper bag, and he was as surprised as anybody to be taking a throw there.
Absolutely. And Will Smith knew he messed it up probably the minute he threw that ball.
And a tip foul that Smith can't hang on to. Still 1-2.
Matty, here are the pitches that when you're struggling with men in scoring position, you cannot miss this pitch. Little slider, 88 miles an hour, middle. That's the last pitch you're going to get that was hittable. Have to capitalize on mistakes.
Been 6 double plays turned behind Max Scherzer this year. 2 balls and 2 strikes already. And, you know, this is a part of that decision by Will Smith. It's turned into a stress inning for Max Scherzer. Not only more pitches, but a runner at third, less than 2 out type pitches. The 2-2. And Smith sends a little pop in the infield for Justin Turner, and that's the second out of the inning.
The changeup that time fades it away. And not much Dom Smith can do with that pitch. Big out for Scherzer and the Dodgers there.
First changeup he's thrown all night. And he gets a big out on it now for Jeff McNeil. Let's see how aggressive McNeil is here in a big spot. He is a notorious first ball swinger. First and third, 2 gone. The ball and no strikes. See McNeil at 264 in terms of batting average. On July 30th, he was hitting as high as 280. That was his season high, as a matter of fact. Under 200 since. A couple of shakes from Max. And the 1-0. Had that nice sound. A ball and a strike.
For the Mets, McNeil is the right man, right spot. Hitting .307 career, man in scoring position, and he's a good fastball hitter, short and compact.
Nimmo reached on a base hit. Alonso at first, got there on the fielder's choice play. A ball and a strike to count to Jeff McNeil. 2 changeups and success on both. See some of Scherzer's splits versus left-handed hitters. And whatever was going wrong against lefties last year has been fixed this season. I'd imagine that changeup's a big part of it.
Indeed.
A ball and 2 strikes.
He wanted this pitch up. He missed. Down. Wants it up. Good job of McNeil just fighting it off.
Still the ball and 2 strikes. Stayed off the high fastball. The Mets as a team have a .394 slugging percentage against fastballs this year. That is next to last in all of baseball. Two and 2 to Jeff McNeil. In the air, out to shallow left. Taylor finds it and retires the side. Problem avoided for Max Scherzer. Dodgers still lead 3-0. The top of the first inning, and after the strange throwing decision previously, Will Smith gets cleaned up by some good pitching behind him. But Smith has had an amazing run offensively in this series. Socked a big homer on Friday to win it. Homered again yesterday. It's a guy who has really picked up the flair for the dramatic, and his solo shot against Carlos Carrasco tonight. Cody Bellinger leads things off in the Dodger half of the second. Bellinger, McKinney, and Scherzer against Carlos Carrasco. 3-0 LA. Bellinger with a shot into the gap in right center field. Cody on his way into second. Throw from Conforto is not in time, and it's a leadoff double for Cody Bellinger in the Dodgers' second.
There's a lot to like here. The swing on time on the fastball, and then the incredible athleticism and the speed. Thinking too right out of the box. Great swing there on top of the baseball and on time. That's something that Bellinger has not done all year, and something we're going to illustrate to you in the next several innings. Great speed, great slide ahead of the tag.
Well, the returns are getting a lot better, and according to Dave Roberts before the game tonight, it's getting better in terms of the eyeball test too, what he's seeing at the plate. Here's McKinney now. Here are the returns, right, from April to July. First few months of the season, not Bellinger-like at all. Things are starting to change in August, and that OPS over 1,000 getting even healthier after the double here tonight. You know, there are a lot of things at the heart of that, and the Dodgers will be the first ones to tell you that health is the first one of them.
Well, it's health, and then his mentality and confidence. And Roberts talked about sometimes no matter how much coaches tell you that you're doing well, you look good, you still need the results. And back-to-back doubles for Bellinger. What I liked about it was a fastball, upper quadrant of the strike zone, on time, and the barrel on top of the baseball.
McKinney fouls that one away. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Well, we got to go back to last year's postseason to kind of tell the whole story on what happened with Cody Bellinger's lead shoulder. That was the forearm bash heard around the world, and you can tell it's stinging right there, right? Forearm bash with Kike Hernandez. By all accounts, that led to some bad stuff. Shoulder surgery in the offseason, and Cody is still healing from that. Kind of reminds you of celebratory injuries of the past, including when Kendrys Morales hopped on home plate about a decade ago as an Angel.
I remember that, a day game in Anaheim. Ended up being out for a while.
I believe it was an ACL. Remember Jake Peavy hurting himself celebrating a postseason clinch a number of years ago in San Diego. Here's Scherzer now. Bellinger still aboard. This is trending on social media as the Tim Kirkjian challenge at bat tonight. Timmy predicted a hit for Max Scherzer tonight, who he says is the best hitting pitcher to have gone 0 for his last 43. Got to go back to September 18th of 2019 for that last knock for Max.
Carrasco, not the type of pitcher you want to face when you're 0 for 43. He spins it too much. Like that.
And it's 0-2.
One home run and 444 major league career bats for Scherzer. Just one home run.
0-2 the count to Scherzer with Bellinger aboard in scoring position and 1 away. You know, Max is such an intense character, as we know. He's not a guy that goes up there like laughingly with a bat in his hands. There is no such gear for him. He's going to move the runner here. A productive plate appearance for Scherzer.
And productive indeed, Matt, because that moves Bellinger over to third base with the speedy Turner. It brings the bunt in play. A bobble, an error is another run for the Dodgers. Little slider there. Contact is king.
So now Trey Turner, who singled and scored in front of the Justin Turner homer last inning. They call him the electric slider for this just kind of casual move. That's my, yeah, social media had a ball with this. Yeah, whatever. Slide in safely, perfect form.
You know, as an infielder, this is a stressful situation because any bobble is a run for the Dodgers. So if you're an infielder, you don't want to play too deep. Any in-between ground ball, you want to make sure you have a sure out at first base.
Can we compare that slide of Trey Turner's from last week to this? Just for fun. Just flash it back. 2015, my partner.
Oh my goodness.
Were you playing with bunions? What happened?
The grace of an elephant. And then Steve Donahue with the water. Oh my. I got home that night and my daughters, they looked at me at dinner and said, "Daddy, what was that?"
Oh gosh. Well, and your daughters were little kids back then.
And they still
they
that was
picked it
awful.
up. 2 balls and a strike to count to Trey Turner. Into left field, and that's going to drive in Bellinger to make it 4-0 Dodgers. Turner on his way to second.
Turner's just a prime time player. First at bat, fights off a 95-mile-an-hour the other way base hit. This time is the slider. Waits on it nicely. And then hits a bullet over shortstop.
In 2 plate appearances tonight, we've seen exactly why the Dodgers are willing to kind of handle the growing pains at second base with Trey Turner, because he adds so much on the other side of the scorecard.
I mean, that's such an easy one, man. This guy's got so much talent, is a risk worth taking. This guy's a primetime guy that can be your shortstop for the next 5, 6, 7 years. I thought it was an incredible move for the Dodgers. Not just Scherzer, obviously, but this is a guy.
Well, and it's not just a potentially not just a short-term play to win another World Series this year. It's really going to set the Dodgers up for some interesting choices in the offseason, because both Trey Turner and Corey Seager are free agents at the end of the year. It's amazing numbers. Since 2020, you're talking about an elite talent here. One of only 3 players in all of baseball with at least 15 homers and 20 stolen bases this season.
And Matty, you'll have the argument on, well, they have tremendous resources and embarrassment of riches, but you also have the skill. And the front office of the Dodgers have tremendous skill. How often do you get 2 players, frontier, to come to your team in the middle of a pennant race, one to be your frontline pitcher and the other one could be your leadoff for another championship run? And Turner, tremendous character.
2 balls and a strike to count to Max Muncy. 4-0 Los Angeles. And it's 2-2 to Max. Now 2 strike counts aren't until I mean, that's when Max Muncy really starts, right? Full count, I like to call him.
And he's a microcosm of what this lineup is and what they have been the last few years. They're disciplined. They don't chase. You already have the difference so far on how things are going. The Mets could not capitalize with men in scoring position, and the 2-out hitting for the Dodgers, again, another reason why they're hot.
It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Max Muncy. Well, he is top 6 in the National League in walks, on base percentage, and OPS is Muncy. But let's go back to that 15 and 20 list. Turner, Tatis, and club said in Baltimore. And by the way, did you see what the Padres right fielder did today? The guy in the middle of that graphic?
Unbelievable.
First game off the IL, starting in right field, 2 homers. Is there any question that he is the most valuable player on that roster, if not in the entire league?
I mean, just the swag, the confidence he brings to that lineup, to that franchise, and to the city of San Diego.
And this is less than 24 hours after getting no hit by the Diamondbacks yesterday, and a kid making his first career start. Tatis comes back, and all of a sudden, everything's fine.
The magic is back. Wow.
Swag chain.
Easy game.
Yeah, they got their thing back today. 3-2 to Muncy is hit well out to left center field. Nimmo tracking, and that one's gone. Already the 3rd home run of the night for the Dodgers. 6-0 Los Angeles.
And you said it best, Matt. With 2 strikes, that's when Muncy starts. Indeed, that was the case right here. A 3-2 slider. Fouling the ball off. Taking. And then the cement mixer. You wear them down, and then little changeup right there for the home run to left center. Picture perfect approach, at bat, and result.
Justin Turner gets knocked down on the very next pitch.
I'll tell you what, that'll get the dugout chattering a little bit.
Not a word from Turner, not a word so far from Dave Roberts.
That's a fired up dugout right there. And you get everybody to pay attention even a little bit more.
When you're talking about a guy here in Justin Turner who's fresh off the IL. 2 balls and no strikes. 3 in the first, 3 in the second for Los Angeles. 3 homers tonight for the Dodgers early on. Two balls and a strike. So the pitch count on Carlos Carrasco, which will hit 50 here with this one. It wasn't the pregame focus as much as you mentioned, Alex. The Mets measure ups and downs, and their outstanding pitching coach Jeremy Hefner, with his experience coming back from multiple Tommy John surgeries himself, he is kind of at the heart of this, along with the Mets training staff and their strength and fitness coaches, in measuring ups and downs in terms of how long we can go. Now, however, there are limits to that. Yeah, there haven't been many ups and downs, but obviously the workload is not where they want to see it tonight.
And I agree with that approach that the Mets medical staff is taking. The other part to look at as a barometer is leverage pitches, and so far there's been a bunch for Carrasco.
Full count to Justin Turner. 3 runs in, 2 away. The 3-2 home, and there's ball 4. And you get the sense that the time might run out on Carrasco tonight before the ups and downs hit 5 or 6. This is not ideal timing, of course, whenever this takes place, but when you're in the midst of a stretch like the Mets are now, where they're in the early stages of really running the gauntlet, 13 straight against the Dodgers and the Giants. And here comes the aforementioned Jeremy Hefner. And you're talking about back-to-back extra innings games to start this series, so it's not like you got a bunch of fresh guys you can run out there for bulk innings early.
Absolutely. You know, when you think about the Dodgers, Matty, and their offense, it's not just talent, but it's preparation and his approach. And when you look at the 3-2 pitches, you have 2 home runs. Muncy and Turner both on breaking balls. First Turner with the breaking ball, and then the changeup for Muncy. These guys are going up there with an approach. They're like sniper shooters. They're focused, and when they get their pitch, they don't miss it.
Well, 7 of the 13 plate appearances that the Dodgers have had to start the ball game have come with a man on. So to your point about stress innings, stress pitches, it's been nothing but that for Carrasco seemingly tonight. Ball and no strikes, the count to Corey Seager. 2-0 now.
And it goes back to the 2-out RBI double by Turner, extending the inning, then the home run, then the walk, and they just keep leaning on you, passing the baton. If you pitch to them, they will punish you. If not, they trust their teammates. That's the sign of a championship team.
2 balls and a strike. This will be the 30th pitch of the inning for Carrasco. Tied him up with a fastball inside. 2-2 now. The Mets are not built to win a whole lot of big-time slugfests. It's a lineup, the Mets that is, averaging a major league low 3.5 runs a game at home. Seager's rung up, putting an end to the second, not before 3 more for the Dodgers. An RBI double by Trey Turner, and a 2-run home run by Max Muncy. Just an inning and a half in, and it's 6-0 Dodgers. great Major League Baseball action coming up all week on ESPN. Starting tomorrow with the A's and White Sox at 8 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday, it's the Red Sox and Yankees. And then Sunday night, the Little League Classic. Buster will be back with us. He, Alex, and I will be in Williamsport, Pennsylvania for the Indians and the Angels a week from tonight. It's been all Dodgers to start the night tonight. 6-0 Los Angeles. J.D. Davis leads things off against Max Scherzer. Justin Turner with one of the 3 Dodger homers tonight. A ball and a strike to J.D. Davis. Mets saying, yeah, hey, how's it going? How you doing? Yeah. Your team DFA'd me after the 2013 season. How we feeling?
What an investment and pickup for the Dodgers.
A ball and 2 strikes.
I can't think of another player that's more popular in their hometown, a town where he grew up, watching and listening to the Dodgers. Big fan of Vince Scully. Once snuck up here, took a picture in Citi Field with Vince Scully. He called it one of the highlights of his career.
And I should correct myself. They're non-tendered by the Mets after 2013. A ball and 2 strikes to count to Davis. What have the Mets missed since the day they let him walk out the door? Well, a lot of extra base hits. He has 338 since leaving here. The Mets leader, Michael Conforto, with 265.
And he's so much more than numbers, Matty. I mean, he is the total package, a leader, a work ethic guy, a guy that the clubhouse and players trust each and every day, and especially in the big moments. There's nobody bigger. There was Big Papi, and in today's era, the last 5 years, it has been Justin Turner.
First strike out of the game from Max Scherzer as J.D. Davis swings and misses.
And when you look at the contrast of these two teams, it's not only talent, but it's approach. And the Dodgers offensively will wear you down night in and night out. They'll lay off pitches, they'll foul it off until the pitcher makes a mistake, and bam, they make you pay for it.
Jonathan Villar has a first pitch single back up the middle. Villar drove in the Mets' lone run on Friday. That's his second hit of the series, and he's aboard with 1 away. If you're wondering if the Mets have a big output in them tonight, that should tell you a lot. They've scored 6 or more runs in only 1 of their last 23 games. And tonight they have to try to do it against Max Scherzer. So a tall order ahead. Here's James McCann with 1 out and 1 on. You know, Carlos Carrasco is on deck ostensibly to hit in his own spot in the order. But that's not to say that the Mets won't make a pitching change for the next half inning, even if Carrasco does swing the bat. It's early. You know, you start burning through 2 guys for 1, a new pitcher and a pinch hitter, and you're going to find yourself with a bare cupboard by the 7th or 8th inning tonight.
Well, you mentioned the tough stretch coming up. As a manager, from a starting pitcher, you want 2 things. You want quality and you want length. If you're not going to get the quality, Rojas is looking for some length.
2 balls and no strikes, the count to McCann. If I had suggested to you on opening day that Francisco Lindor and Javi Baez would be teammates in Flushing, Queens after the trading deadline this year, you would have said what?
Liar, liar.
On the ground for Turner, to Turner, who bobbles the exchange, and everybody's safe. Well, Trey Turner learning the position of second base, and that turn has been his biggest challenge, and that time he couldn't find the handle on the feed.
And a shortstop going to second base, this is by far the hardest adjustment. Is having to turn to double play, and Turner just trying to be a little bit too fine, too quick, and he's learning on the job. Tries to turn 2 and gets none. They might review this.
Boy, that should have been your inning-ending double play. That was just room service. It's going to be a fielder's choice E4 if in fact it stands. The Dodgers have asked for a challenge on what happened at second base. Dave Roberts is hoping that Turner had possession of the ball long enough to get the out there. You tell me, Alex.
Here's full speed. To me, the answer is no, because I never saw real control. Right? It doesn't pass the eye test. A little bit too quick. So for me, it should be first and second. No out.
2 regrettable defensive moments for the Dodgers in this one already. And if you're Max Scherzer and you're watching this thing, you're saying it's a good thing he scored me 6 runs.
Yeah, they've cost him 3 outs. One in the Will Smith, and that one possibly a double play.
This has got to drive Max crazy, because Scherzer, as we know, is no pun intended, he is a max effort guy, and so that one will fail. Call is upheld, and the Mets have another opportunity thanks to some generous Los Angeles defense. Carrasco's going to bat here. Would you have considered something else, given that there are runners on here? Is this your best chance to get back in here?
Well, here comes a bunt. And obviously Rojas is playing the long game, not the short game. And you mentioned the tough stretch. He wants Carrasco to give him 3 or 4 innings at least, not to put him in a terrible situation for the rest of this week coming up.
So I guess if the Mets were going to bunt here anyway, why burn a position player, right? Why make the move if you're just going to ask the new guy to bunt?
Well, if you get a pinch hitter, he won't be bunting. He'll be hacking away.
Okay.
Right?
So what would you have done? Do you like the bunt here, or do you go to your bench?
Yeah, in fairness, Rojas has information that we don't have, whether there's guys that are fatigued, guys that are hurt. He knows his limitations of the bullpen. But when you have opportunities to get Max Scherzer, you get him early. I would pinch hit and try to get this game back in order.
A ball and a strike to count to Carrasco. Gets the bunt down. Muncy's on it quickly. He'll go to first base. They get the sure out there. Credit Carrasco with the sac bunt, second and third with 2 gone.
Very nice bunt here. Good technique. Muncy shouldn't even look at third base here. And he did the right thing by just getting the easy out at first base. You don't want any temptation to go to third. Right move.
Boy, Trey Turner has had to do a number of things working on the right side of the infield tonight, previously unfamiliar to him. Turn a double play, cover the bag at first, and now it's Brandon Nimmo who opened the first inning with a base hit tonight. Rolled out to second base for Turner, and once again 2 are left stranded in the Mets half of an inning. Still 6-0 Dodgers.
Kids cast of the Little League World Series, and now we're going to throw it over to Zoe, who's going to try and score some funnel cake.
I got the funnel cake. How good is that?
Very good, Aiden.
Another shorty in the booth. Tim Kirkshin.
I just got here and you're already making fun of me?
Little League Classic coming up a week from tonight. Angels and Indians. We can't wait. We also can't wait for the Kids Cast. In fact, I might just take the headsets off so I can listen to these guys work on ESPN too. Some young people who will be Mike's side, including Monet Davis, who has a lot of experience in the game already. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be with you on ESPN and the Kids Cast on ESPN2 a week from tonight from Williamsport for the Angels and the Indians. And imagine all the little leaguers that are going to be there. An international group of little leaguers oohing and eyeing over Shohei Ohtani the way we adults do. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Can't wait.
Jake Reed is the new pitcher on for New York, making his 7th appearance of the year and inheriting a 6-0 deficit. Reed was recalled from AAA Syracuse last week, and he is new to the organization, acquired off waivers from the Rays on August 2nd. Reed has been well traveled this year alone. 6 games in Dodger blue.
You know, Matt, with Reed coming into the game, it even makes it more strange for the lack of move of Rojas to put in a pinch hitter. Even if it's another pitcher that can swing the bat, you love to get one crack there at Max Scherzer. And obviously not bunting with 1 strike, not ideal when you're down by 6.
Well, I think you stumbled on it when we were talking about the move. As you know, it would be easy to nitpick it at the surface, but take a look at the Mets bench, and there is 1 infielder. It's just a 4-man bench, and it's just too early in the game, I think. At least that was Luis Rojas's assertion, that it was just too early to make that move, which would have required 2 changes.
Yeah, and maybe if DeGrom was actually healthy as such a good hitting pitcher, maybe he could have pinch hit, get 1 swing from the left side, and give it a shot. But definitely limited resources on that bench at the moment.
A ball and 2 strikes to Will Smith, leading things off in the Dodger half of inning number 3. Smith, Taylor, and Bellinger here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two from Reed. Looking for a chase with that frisbee slider. Didn't get one. Full count.
This Dodger offense reminds me of the Dallas Cowboys back in the day with Emmitt Smith. They just go run right, run left, 3-2, run right, run left, boom. You know, home run ball to Irving. How many counts over and over again? 0-2, 3-2, and that looked like he may have gone that swing.
Yeah, I was going to say. 3-2 to Smith as a bouncer to the other side of the bag goes VR, or rather McNeil, to make the play. 1 away. Well, it's going to turn into a heavier lift for the Mets bullpen, and if they can get anything close to bulk out of Jake Reed, and I mean anything close, multiple innings from him, it would be a win. After Carlos Carrasco goes only 2. We mentioned Reed, well traveled. Handful of appearances this year with the Dodgers. Guy with Southern California roots as well. Helix High School in the San Diego area, which I believe was where Reggie Bush went to high school, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that where also?
Let's do some more football after you just talked about Emmitt Smith.
Well, Bill Walton, right? Is
I think you might be right about that. Helix High. 0-1 the count to Chris Taylor, a strikeout victim earlier tonight. 3 in the first, 3 in the second from Los Angeles. And it's 0-2 to Taylor. You know, getting back to the Little League Classic next weekend, or this coming weekend in Williamsport, Angels and Indians. We talked about Shohei Ohtani being there, being an international draw. It is a domestic group of Little Leaguers this year due to the pandemic. Had been an international field in the past. This year, and hopefully for 1 year only, just a U.S.-based competition in Williamsport. And a swing and a miss by Taylor. Second time he has struck out tonight.
It's been a great week for baseball, a historic one. We just had an unbelievable few days for Major League Baseball and Field of Dreams. Tremendous matchup. Yankees versus White Sox. A great game. But the day before, you had Little Leaguers from Chicago and from New York right here in Queens. And a really, really fun game, a tremendous outcome for Major League Baseball.
Looked like you guys had a lot of fun out there. I mean, how could you not, right? I mean, that was just a, pardon the pun, but that was just a home run, the whole thing.
I mean, for a baseball geek like me, it was heaven. And obviously, I watched the movie Field of Dreams when I was only 13 years old in 1989 when it came out. And you watch it again in your 40s, and it just means so much more. The relationship between father and son. You know, the ability to dream, and for Major League Baseball, it was a dream come true with a Hollywood ending.
No doubt. Look, it would have been a good night even if it was like a sleepy 6-0 decision. But Tim Anderson put a punctuation mark at the end of a comeback win with a walk-off homer on Thursday. First Major League Baseball game played in the state of Iowa at the Field of Dreams. We all learned about corn sweat, among other things, and we got reaffirmation as to how great our game is. As Bellinger lines out, and Jake Reed works a 1-2-3, top of the third. Still 6-0 Dodgers. Welcome back to Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, telecast presented by Taco Bell. 6-0 lead for Max Scherzer, and he's been able to preserve that lead with his off-speed arsenal.
Yeah, man, it has been the changeup, not the fastball, his go-to pitch in these leverage situations. In the big spot, less is more. And Scherzer at 37 is better today than he was at 27. And the reason why is he doesn't have 3 pitches. He now has 6 pitches. He completely democratic in his approach. He gets righties just as easy as lefties. He doesn't walk anyone in an era of rock throwers. This guy's more valuable today than he was 10 years ago, and that's hard to believe.
Ball and a strike to count to Michael Conforto. It's Conforto, Alonso, and Smith. 2, 3, 4, part of the Mets order here in the third. Three balls and a strike. Not a surprise that his first 3-ball count would come against the only Met that's really given him a truly hard time over the years, and that's Conforto. And there's ball 4. Well, what did the Dodgers acquire when they pulled off the deal with the Nationals to acquire Trey Turner and Max Scherzer? These are some of the accolades. 1 of 10 to win 3 or more Cy Young awards. 1 of 35 in the history of the game with multiple no-hitters. In fact, 1 of them came here against the Mets a few years ago, and 1 of only 4 with a 20 strikeout 9-inning game. You could rightly say that Max Scherzer could shut it down, retire, and put his feet up in the sand tomorrow, and he would have a place in Cooperstown.
There's no doubt about it. And what's most impressive, Matt, has been his evolution as a pitcher, going from 3 pitches mixed to 6 pitches. That's a hitter. That's a completely different ball game, different language altogether. I mean, to have the fastball, the curveball, the cutter, the changeup, the sinker. He comes with a lot. He doesn't walk you. He competes. And like we talked about in the open, Max Scherzer plays the game exactly how Pete Rose used to run the bases.
Shook off Smith once. And there's a shot out to left field. Taylor on the move, and he can't make the catch. Conforto being held at third. Man, does that get out there quick. A double for Pete Alonso, almost 110 miles an hour off the bat.
And Davis hitting this fastball here, 109 off the bat. An absolute rocket. Great effort by Taylor. Now the Mets are set up second and third with no outs.
Scherzer was able to strand multiple base runners in both the first and second innings tonight. This is their best opportunity yet to get on the scoreboard. Second and third, nobody out. But Chris Taylor almost made a terrific catch on that ball.
Incredible effort. If you're Dom Smith, you have 2 goals here. You want to get the first run in from third and advance the man at second to third base. So preferably you want to pull the baseball, contact early. The first pitch you get in the zone, do not foul it off, put it in play.
Smith at first and third, 1 away in the first inning and popped out. A ball and a strike to him here. The double by Pete Alonso, believe it or not, ended a really rough stretch for the Mets in which they were 0 for 25 with men on base. Wow. And Smith pops it again. This one handled by Turner, 1 away. Oh, talk about getting in on a guy. I mean, it's just jam sandwich.
He sets him up with a changeup and then gets it with a fastball in here. Oh, I mean, that's just in your cocina. Another big out for Scherzer.
Mets are now 2 for 22 with runners in scoring position in the series. Another opportunity for Jeff McNeil, who flied out to left in his first try tonight. You know, we talked about the extra stress pitches on Scherzer because of the 2 bad defensive moments in this game, and you could quantify it. He had to throw 6 extra pitches in the first, 4 in the second, and at some point, you know, not now because we're still early, but at some point the finish line gets a little closer to you because of that.
And also, Matt, don't forget, that'll get one in.
Mets are on the scoreboard on the RBI ground ball off to bat of Jeff McNeil. It's a 6-1 Dodger lead.
The Mets with only 14 sacrifice flies all year. By far the fewest in the majors.
Yeah, many of the special hitting situations have not gone well for the Mets. Runners on, 25th ranked. Bases loaded, 26th in the sport. We've seen those scenarios play out in this series for sure. So Alonso advances to third, a run in, 2 away now for J.D. Davis, who struck out in the second.
And Matt, what's most concerning about some of the data we just saw, some of the stats for the Mets, it has very little to do with talent and more with approach and execution and concentration. And that's what's concerning.
Well, it's a team that turned over its hitting instructors early this season in the hopes of correcting that. Guess we learned it wasn't the hitting coach's fault.
I've never had that in my career, so I can't speak with it, but I can tell you that baseball and a coach is a lot with trust, especially a hitting coach. You know, the best hitting coach I ever had, I had 2, Kevin Long and Rudy Jaramillo, and those guys become part-time coaches, part-time therapists, and you build this friendship and bond. And I have never been a big fan of in-season changes of pitching coaches and hitting coaches. Sometimes you have to in an emergent situation, but as a hitter, you want continuity.
Ball and a strike to J.D. Davis. At high gas, that's worked on him all night so far. Struck him out with that pitch in the second. Leadoff walk, a double, and a 1-out ground out. But got the Mets on the board here in the third. Ball and 2 strikes. Got him. Back-to-back elevated fastballs do the trick. No further damage in the New York half of the third. On to inning number 4, 6-1 Los Angeles.
Thank you. Yeah.
6-1 lead for the Dodgers as we welcome you back to Citi Field. Los Angeles trying to finish out a rare 3-game sweep. They have had some success in this ballpark, however. Dave Roberts joins us, Dodger manager, to talk about how this series has gone so far. And tonight, Dave, thanks for the time. And, you know, obviously you're benefiting from some power today, but a couple of strange defensive moments. And I get to thinking about how that affects a guy like Max Scherzer, who is strung high. He is Mad Max for a reason. How does he react to those things between innings, if at all?
You know what, not at all. And I think that you can see that from the reaction of those plays. We gave a couple bases away, and you know, he does react. You know, he sees the play and then he goes back, bows his shoulder, and makes pitches. But yeah, he's as intense as they come. So in between innings, there's not a whole lot of conversation. And I got a quick story if you want me to share it.
We'd love it.
Yeah, I can't talk to him or let alone touch him. Because I remember a start against the Astros. I think maybe his first start at home for us, and pat him on the butt coming into the dugout. First inning, second inning, maybe the third inning, and in the fourth inning I pat him on the butt like, hey, nice going. And he mumbled something under his breath, and I'm like, did he just say don't effing touch me? And then I got the scoop from our players like, hey Doc, make sure you don't touch him. He doesn't want anyone to touch him. And so get through. All right. Yeah, good play right there. So I go after the game. He goes 7, you know, shutty or gives up a run, and then I go, hey man, did you just mumble something like don't effing touch me? And he goes, yeah, and I gave you the tempered, most respectful way I can say it because this is my job. I don't need any kind of congratulations or support because that's my job. And so we got a little kick out of it. So suffice to say tonight, if you got me, I won't be patting him on the butt.
Got it. Yeah, that's probably a good way to go. A fine play by Pete Alonso. And there's one gone.
Hey, Doc, how much is having a guy like Justin Turner back in your lineup? What does it do to your lineup? What does it do to the overall feel of your clubhouse and your dugout?
It's just having him and just the way he conducts himself, prepares for a game. And you can see Alex at it back, gets behind 0-2 or 1-2, whatever. We want to get Carrasco close to us, go to the other side of the field, get him in the air. And he did that, tried to go the other way, left the pitch up. Instead of releasing the barrel, putting it on the ground, he rides it out, hits a homer, and it just gives everybody a boost. And right now, obviously, when you face a Dodge, you're going to bring your A game. But that Justin Turner at-bat was a huge one, and we're much better when he's in the lineup.
And speaking of at-bats, we'll leave you on this. Our colleague Tim Kirkjian has predicted a base hit from Max Scherzer tonight. You've seen him swing the bat now for 2+ nights. Do you endorse that selection?
I absolutely do. Right now, it doesn't look good. Jake Reed, we just had him. He's going to get a slider here or a heater at 90 above the zone. But I keep telling Max, I go, dude, you're like 0 for 43. You're due. So, so at some point, he's going to get a knock, and it's going to be a big one for us. So I'm with Timmy. I'll bet on him. So there you go. He's fighting right now.
I almost feel like we want to keep you for the rest of the plate appearance, but we know you got a game to run. So thanks for the time as always. Best of luck the rest of the way.
All right, fellas.
Dave Roberts joining us on the telecast tonight. Ball and 2 strikes to Max Scherzer, batting with 1 out and the base is empty in a 6-1 Dodger lead. Max is battling. What does it look like from the other dugout? And we can ask that of Francisco Lindor, who also is kind enough to take some time with us. Francisco, you watching Max swing the bat?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, how do you feel about Max? I know you don't like facing him as a pitcher. What do you think about the plate appearance so far?
He's grinding right now. There's a couple of swings that he didn't look too good, and that one was a great take for our team, so I love that one.
Your guy got him. Hey, how you feeling, by the way? I know the road to recovery is probably a little slower than you'd like, but give us the health status.
I'm much better today than I was yesterday and a couple of weeks ago. Thank the good Lord for blessing me with health on a daily basis, and I'm getting there. It's just a matter of time. This is one of those injuries that you can't really rush. I'm trying as hard as I can to get back on the field, and the trainers are doing outstanding, but I can't really rush it too much.
Lindor, what's happening, Poppy?
How you doing,
You
brother?
good?
Yeah, I'm great, man.
You know, it's interesting how excited are you to be playing with your longtime buddy Javi Baez? 10 years ago, you guys were drafted back to back, and you've known each other forever.
Yeah, man, I'm itching. I'm itching to get back on the field with him. We played catch the other day together, and it was fun. You know, we joke around who's going to play second, who's going to play short. I told him I'm a little bit more beat up than him, so I should play second more than him. But at the end of the day, whatever the team needs, we're going to go out there and give it our best. I can't wait to be team with Vogues. Get back.
We got some video of you before the game, Francisco. You're working out in the full uni today at 3 o'clock. Do you always do that?
No, I just got nothing better to do right now. So I dress up like I'm going to a game. I'm trying to show the trainers I don't need rehab games. But at the end of the day, they know best. So I just give them a little taste of what it should be like, and I just dress up with full uni. They're lucky I haven't got the eye blackout.
That's just like my partner Alex Rodriguez. He's always wearing a suit when he goes to, like, you know, have fast food in the morning.
He goes all out.
In and out, in and out.
Dress the part. Francisco, we appreciate the visit, man. Best of luck getting back out there, and thanks for your time.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
The base hit back up the middle for Trey Turner. He is 3 for 3 tonight. A reminder, we're creeping up on this week's 5th Inning Fast Talk presented by T-Mobile. Grab your phone during the mid-5th inning commercial break and head over to ESPN's Instagram Live, where we'll be answering your questions. Questions submitted by you, the fans. Be sure to tune into this fast-paced live stream. You won't want to miss it. The 5th Inning Fast Talk. One of the questions might be, how would you get Trey Turner out on a night like tonight? He is 3 for 3 and aboard with 2 away from Max Muncy, who homered with 2 out and a man on back in the second. We talked about the hitter's profile on Muncy last time he was in there. He ranks in the National League's top 6 in walks, on base percentage, and OPS. We saw the power in the second, and it's amazing when you consider his really low swing rate. Only Juan Soto with the Nationals swings the bat more infrequently than Max Muncy. A little closer over there on Turner.
And to your point, Matt, I played with a guy that reminds me of Muncy, and that was Jason Giambi. Whether he was hitting good or not, he was always a productive added value to a lineup. And what I love most is hitting behind guys like a John Olerud or Jason Giambi. Turner gets such a great look with Muncy in front of him. And there you go.
To the same spot in the ballpark, he homered, but this one is run down by Brandon Nimmo to retire the side. Middle of the 4th, still 6-1 Los Angeles. ESPN's telecast of Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell is brought to you by USAA Insurance, auto renters and home insurance. This is the anniversary, August 15th, 1965, of the Beatles' famed Shea Stadium concert. Right on the infield, kicking up Ed Kranepool's dirt. It's being filmed as a documentary, and that's why there are so many great images and such great video of that particular performance, because not every one of them in the mid-60s had so much film dedicated to it. The Beatles were getting to the end of their line, actually, of live stadium performances at that point, calling it quits after Candlestick a year later. Jonathan Villar leads things off in the Mets half of inning number 4, 6-1 Dodgers. Villar, McCann, and then Jake Reed looking like he'll have a plate appearance, a rare one, for a middle reliever. And it's 1-1 to Jonathan Villar, who singled in the second. Dodgers have been long advocates of the infield shift the last number of years. That's something that's relatively new to the Mets. They didn't shift a lot at all last season. As far as this year is concerned, these are the shiftiest teams in baseball.
You know, talk about Turner and having to make the adjustment going from shortstop to second base. We talked about two real challenges, and one we already saw in turning double play. The other is how deep he has to play the short right field and having to come in place like this.
Oh, and Turner can't get it out of the glove.
And Matty, that's exactly what I'm talking about. The double play, and now having to play well, almost shallow right field, making these plays very challenging. And this is a play that he's never had to make in his whole career, right? And just tries to rush a little bit, misses his timing and footing.
Made it harder when he tried to blow the bubble too, I think.
Well, he already has 3 hits, so he's like, what the heck?
Can't quite. Yeah, there's the bubble starting to. Yeah, God, I had to swallow the whole thing. The play and the bubble gum. It's going to be a base hit for Villar, so make him 2 for 2 tonight. And now James McCann.
It is so much harder in today's game to adjust from shortstop to second base or second base to short.
That's back to Scherzer, who has time to get him at first base. I mean, that worked effectively as a bunt, though that's certainly not what McCann was after there, because the next batter is Jake Reed.
Matty, this is a very difficult play that Scherzer made it look very easy. Great internal clock, goes to the ball. Watch how he pauses right before he goes bare hand. He makes sure of it, and then a strike to first base. Scherzer's simply the total package. Takes his time, great internal clock, and a strike.
Corners will crash in on Jake Reed, making his first career plate appearance at the major league level tonight. I mean, this is a guy that's only had 2 career minor league plate appearances, and both came earlier this year. I mean, could you ask for a tougher circumstance than this? You got a runner in scoring position, and you're facing Scherzer. Oh, hey, puts it in play. Throw to first is too late, and to third, and that's too late. Wow, the Mets got out of that one somehow. Villar avoided the tag at second, and then by the time the Dodgers tried to get the hitter, that was too late. Reed runs well. Watch this. Seager olayed the tag, and then Muncy double clutched the throw to third.
Oh, boy.
Hey, let me tell you something. Jake Reed got up the line at 29.4 feet per second. That is almost elite base running speed.
Putting him up, putting him down.
The league average is 27. And here's Nimmo now. I mean, the Mets have had some of the most unlikely opportunities tonight. And it's 0-1 to Brandon Nimmo.
I mean, here's what you're talking about, Matt. Speed. Shows up every day. That's impressive.
A ball and a strike to count to Brandon Nimmo.
I mean, the Dodgers not exactly putting on an exhibition on how to throw to the bases.
No, this has not been a clean night for Los Angeles, not by a long shot. A missed tag there, a couple of errant plays at second by Turner. You had a bad decision behind the plate on a throw to the bases. But the Dodgers have been able to kind of cover up those blemishes tonight with 3 homers. And Max Scherzer's ability to pitch out of jams. Two balls and a strike to Brandon Nimmo. 3-1 now.
Alonso could be the tying run. He's in the hole. Conforto in next.
Full count.
And this is just not a productive swing. 3-1. He's late. Defensive. That looks like an 0-2 swing. You want to get the bat head out. Get that ball in the air to right center field. And take your A swing. That's like your D swing. Not good.
Conforto next with only 1 away. Again, runners at the corners. 3-2 pitch. Nimmo is regularly among league leaders in pitches per plate appearance, and that's kind of an outlier on a Mets team that averages 3.3 pitches per plate appearance. Nimmo's had a couple of long at bats already tonight.
Should be a changeup here.
And there's ball 4. That's going to load the bases. And our first appearance by Dodger pitching coach Mark Pryor. This is not something that Max Scherzer generally likes. At some point, Alex, and I know that Scherzer is composed, and Dave Roberts told us, he's composed despite the wonky defense behind him. At some point, it's got to get to a guy.
Well, you're going to be able to beat teams like the Mets when they're not full go, but that's not championship baseball, and that will bite you big time in October. When you're the Dodgers, you want to be fine-tuning to be the best teams. You won't be able to beat the best teams playing defense this way.
Max only threw 54 pitches. He went 3 1/3 in that rain-shortened start at Philly on Tuesday. And he is in his tightest bind yet. Again, it's Conforto with a chance. This is exactly the opportunity Mets fans were hoping for. Their best track record here against Scherzer by far. Great bases loaded numbers. He's hit in 5 in a row. His longest streak of the season, believe it or not. And Conforto puts it in play to first. Muncy will get the out there. They concede the run, do the Dodgers. It's a 6-2 LA lead. Second and third with a run in and 2 gone now.
And a very good decision by Muncy, just getting the out for half a second there. He thought about coming home. Watch this. I'm going to come home. Oh, and I thought better of. You want to trade outs for runs with such a big lead. Good decision by Muncy.
Pete Alonso now. He has reached on a fielder's choice and doubled it. I mean, the Mets have had their opportunities tonight. 1 for 13 with runners on. And despite the fact that they've scored 2 runs, they are 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position tonight. Reed at third, Nimmo the runner at second. Might be the first time Jake Reed's been at third base since Sandlot ball.
Man, it is a huge at bat right here for the Mets. A base hit here is a big difference after 4 being 6-4 versus 6-2.
A ball and a strike to Alonso. Chased a slider that time. Pete's double in the 3rd inning was his 300th career hit. So much for milestones in the face of a 4-run deficit. The 1-2. High fastball that's fouled away. Does that set him up for a slider here again?
Well, he's got 3 fastballs. Look bad in the slider, but you know, with a guy like Scherzer at the mound in his fastball, I like to see Turner play a little bit more straight up, because it's hard for a guy like Alonso to get around with 2 strikes on the mid-90s fastball.
The next 1-2 pitch. Oh, he got him looking. Bottom of the zone breaking ball, enough to get him out of another jam. The Mets have stranded 7 runners through 4. They do get a run. It's a 6-2 Dodger lead.
Want more stats? Just ask Siri, who's leading the National League in wins?
Well, it's the other team that the Mets have to deal with over the next couple of weeks, and that's the San Francisco Giants. Man, have they been terrific this year. Giants at 76-42. Their veteran core, Posey, Belt, Crawford, have been fabulous. Pitching has been great, and Gabe Kapler's got his guys in the catbird seat in the NL West.
Boy, they don't seem to slow down. When they get off to a good start, you said, well, they'll slow down by June or July, and here they are in August, and they're just picking up speed.
Everybody's waiting for that other shoe to drop, and I know you agree with me. It ain't dropping. I mean, they're legit.
Absolutely. And dangerous in October, because they have the experience of knowing how to close with some of their veteran players.
Justin Turner leads things off in the Dodger half of inning number 5. Turner, Seager, and Smith. And after running the bases, Jake Reed will continue on the mound. Justin Turner has homered and walked in this one. His first start since August 8th, and behind 0-2. Let's take you back to the big ball in the first.
Yeah, it was a slider, the 3-2 pitch. Looking for it, sitting on it, and then delivering the blow, setting the tone for this game for the Dodgers. And you know, when you look at these at bats and you want to say, what is the major difference between these two teams besides payroll? It's the quality of at bats in leverage situations. In clutch time, there's a lack of maturity on the Mets at bats and incredible maturity from the Dodgers' point, the patience and the conviction.
Well, because you went there, let's go to the payroll component of that discussion. 8 straight division titles, a World Series last year. Dave Roberts, the man you just saw, has been on the gig for 5 of those 8, and he and the Dodgers have benefited from some unprecedented payroll largesse. One more, they pull even with the Yankees. You were a big part of those teams between 98 and 06. A one hopper for VR. A lot of that happened before you got there, but you were witness to some of it. But I want to get back to this payroll discussion, because the Dodgers have absolutely blown past the collective bargaining tax threshold. And they're going to have to pay close to $30 million in additional taxes on top of the enormous payroll. Any club that exceeds the threshold by more than $40 million, and the Dodgers have, is taxed at a near 43% rate on those overages. And I know that's a lot of numbers, and that's hairy, and fans don't really care about that kind of stuff. But the Dodgers have the ability to outspend whatever injuries, whatever subpar performances may hit them on any given year. And there's a base hit out to right for Corey Seager.
Yeah, look, the Dodgers, they're a big market team, but there's a lot of other big market teams that do not run their organization this well. And under the previous ownership, this wasn't necessarily the sexy place to go play. You know, give a lot of credit to Mark Walters, Todd Boehly, Magic Johnson, Peter Guber. They've done a fantastic job of turning this thing inside out. They have become the New York Yankees of baseball, or the New York Yankees of the West Coast.
One out, one on for Will Smith.
They have tremendous resources, but they're also the smartest. And Scherzer and Turner puts a button on that.
Well, I mean, it's a payroll of nearly $275 million, and that's almost $65 million north of the next closest on the list. That's the Red Sox. A ball and no strikes, the count to Smith. And to your point, I guess it'd be one thing if they had that kind of payroll and they were in fourth place under 500 and, you know, ready to pack their bags and play fantasy football. But that's not the case. This is a team that is built to win the World Series.
You know, they're chess players. They don't play checkers, right? They're great chess players, and they don't make the big mistake. When they bring in a bet, when they invest in Turner, Scherzer, they're making, and they're also developing their players. And they're just doing a lot of smart things. And I think as a player, when you have ownership that is all in, making smart moves, investing in the best, what's best for the players and the organization, everybody gets inspired. When you go there, you don't want to leave. And if you're not there, you want to sign with them.
3 balls and no strikes, the count to Will Smith. We saw Trey Turner a moment ago, and I think I may have misspoken earlier when we were having a discussion about the shortstop position. Seager is the only impending free agent they have at that position. Turner's got another year on the deal that they acquired from the Nationals. You talk about an insurance policy. That's right on the corner to get Reed back to a full count. Nice pitch.
I mean, Trey Turner, 28 years old, went to NC State, a very dynamic player. The combination of power and speed, very intelligent young man, hungry, has a tremendous appetite to get better. I mean, he is a franchise player, and to think he was the second guy with Scherzer, it's just a whopper of an acquisition for Friedman and the Dodgers.
Full count to Will Smith, is hit in the air out to right. Can of corn for Michael Conforto, and 2 away.
Introducing the Grubhub Guarantee. Our promise to deliver your order on time within the delivery window and for the lowest price compared to other apps. Or you'll get back at least $5 in perks.
Cody Bellinger moving into the on-deck circle, and Chris Taylor into the batter's box with 2 gone and a runner aboard.
And Matty, you're seeing a tired team, a team with the New York Mets. The 3rd game against the Dodgers, they're worn down. It's like being in there with Mike Tyson for 15 rounds. They're ready to get the Dodgers, get the heck out of town.
Well, there's no rest for the weary, at least not in the near view, because both teams are headed west. As soon as this one's over, the Dodgers are going back home, and the Mets are off to San Francisco. I mean, this is brutal. What a gauntlet. 13 straight against the two best teams in the National League.
Yeah, no DeGrom, no Lindor, no Baez. And facing the absolute toughest part of the schedule with not your best roster.
Here's Taylor now. Again, 2 out, runner aboard, 6-2 Dodgers, and a swing and a miss. Did you used to play games as a player when you went through a remaining schedule? Say you're playing for the Mets right now. Would you go through and try to figure out the math of how many remaining games you'd need to win to get to whatever 90, 92, whatever you project to go to the postseason?
No, I never thought that far ahead, but what I did was I would be sick and tired of getting worn down against this Dodger team. And when things are a little bit struggling, going out to the West Coast is you can catch a breather and get a catch good energy. I mean, the Mets they've played well on the West Coast, and it's just a welcome sight to get out of here, and more importantly, not to be playing the Dodgers.
Well, they'll see him again in a few days.
Yeah.
0-2 the count to Chris Taylor. Yeah, the Dodgers, for their part, have been very comfortable in this ballpark of late. They're used to kind of putting their feet up on the furniture at Citi Field. 12-1 here since May of 2016. And a swing and a miss by Taylor. Another scoreless inning by Reed. And that's it for the top of the 5th, which means it's time for tonight's 5th inning Fast Talk presented by T-Mobile. Head over to ESPN's Instagram Live now. Download the MLB app to get in-game video highlights, live pitch-by-pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboards, and more for your favorite team and for the rest of the league. A nice night for baseball. 79 degrees at first pitch. And a humid week in the Northeast, but a really nice night to be out here tonight. A nice crowd at Citi Field. We've been looking for something to get excited about. There have been some opportunities, that's for sure. As Dom Smith rolls one foul. The Mets stranded 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 more in the fourth. Would you believe this is the first 0-2 count that the Mets have been in tonight?
No, I can't believe that.
I mean, it feels like Scherzer's been in control for most of the night, but his first 0-2 pitch of the ball game. And he makes quick work at Dom Smith.
And Scherzer, another example of just the total package. A couple of heaters up top, pitching top of the zone, a lot of conviction. And then fielding his position like a gold glove shortstop. The bare hand, and then the strike to first base. He's saying, if you guys can't catch it and throw it, I'll do it myself.
Here's Jeff McNeil. We talked about McNeil being a first pitch guy, and a first pitch pop for Seager to make the catch. It's one of those shifts where Justin Turner went around the second base bag. It's the first time tonight that the Mets have failed to put one of their first 2 hitters in an inning on base. So as such, Scherzer has a chance at his first 1-2-3 inning, and it'll be J.D. Davis. You know, a part of the Max Scherzer Cooperstown roll call, in addition to what we talked about earlier, the 3 Cy Young awards, the multiple no-hitters, the 20 strikeout game. For me, It came in that 2019 World Series when he woke up, scheduled to pitch Game 5 against the Astros, and couldn't move his shoulder. And after 2 furious days of therapy, some of which was kind of experimental, massage. I mean, he did everything to get back out there. He was able to pitch in Game 7. It's a huge part of why the Nationals won their first ever World Series title. It kind of put a bow on his relationship with that franchise even before the expiration date of the contract came 2 years later, because it accomplished what it was supposed to, that massive contract. And without it, the Nationals don't win the World Series that year.
Yeah, very seldom do you sign a very large contract and overperform. I think that is true for Scherzer. His performance on the mound, bringing the world title to the Lerner family, and more importantly, what he did in that community to really be involved at a time that leadership was really needed. Well done by Scherzer.
Counts a ball and 2 strikes to J.D. Davis. Well, he signed the contract and became a National. 2015 was the start date. His major league ranks, he's top 3 across the board everywhere. The best WAR, most innings pitched, highest strikeout total. There is no doubt that deal was worth every penny. Easy for us to spend the Lerner's family money, but
absolutely,
I think they'd agree. Everybody would agree it worked out. His first 1-2-3 inning the ball game, a couple of strikeouts to boot. We played 5 complete at Citi Field tonight. The Dodgers continue to lead 6-2 Los Angeles. Been a good series for Cody Bellinger. 2 for 8 in the first 2 games. He has doubled tonight, and perhaps Alex getting closer to that impact player that he certainly was 2 years ago.
Absolutely, and we often talk about being on time or being late. What exactly does that mean? Well, let's show you. This is a struggling Bellinger, super late. You see the ball is all over him and the barrel is down. You become basically the prey, not the predator. Now, let me show you earlier this month when he is on time. Look at the difference here. We're going to circle the ball. Same pitch, fastball up on the right, home run on the right, strikeout on the left. You simply have to be on time. When we talked to Dodger manager Dave Roberts, and he alluded to exactly that. He is just late. And when in doubt, you should just be early. And as a hitter, when you think you're on time, you're late. So get that foot down early. Get nice and cocked and get ready to hit. Matty, more important as a guy like myself who's tall, or Bellinger, or any tall guy with long arms, it's even more important to be on time. If you're a shorter guy like Taylor, it's a lot easier. You see that right there? It's a little long, it's a little lazy. And that barrel is just catching up. You see that barrel drop. On time, barrel on top, foot down, head down, bam.
0-2 from the new Met pitcher Yennsy Diaz, who takes over here in the top half of inning number 6. Diaz making his 17th appearance of the year. He's been really reliable of late, and ERA just over 2 in his last 10 outings. We'll try to hold this deficit at 4 in the late stages this evening. Mets trying to prevent a 3-game sweep here at home. And Bellinger would like to have that pass back, a swing and a miss.
And this is just disconnected. You know, he's getting some success, and then you get some of this. And it's disconnected and is late. He's just rushing there. You see that ball's just kind of crawling up his barrel. And he's a prey there, not the predator. When you're on time, you deliver the blow. Right now, he's taking the blow. So, Matty, how do you fix it? You get in the cage, you come out early, and get the heater machine going, right? You get in the machine, you put that thing about 95 to 105. And then instead of being 60 feet away, you move up to about 45 feet. Now, Barry Bonds, Carlos Beltran did this better than anyone. And what that does, it activates your barrel. You have to stay up. And I'm telling you, you take 10 swings and you're sweating bullets in there because your practice has to be tougher than your game. Having toss and tee and the coach throwing 65 miles an hour is not going to do it.
Did your voice just change there, by the way?
I'm getting fired up. I'm thinking about Lou Piniella, the way he used to talk to me.
0-2 is account to Billy McKinney. Well, you know, we just saw some numbers on Bellinger, and I get that the last couple of years haven't been the MVP season of 2019. But look, the shoulder surgery and the rehab, that is a real thing. And Dave Roberts talked about this a couple weeks ago in a different context. And I asked him the question about Bellinger, and he said, look, I played with a couple guys that had that similar surgery. Billy McKinney hits a ball well out to right field. Conforto is there. He can't make the catch. The ex-Met on his way around second, on his way to third with a one-out triple.
Good swing here. Been hitting the ball hard all night. This is one that Conforto will tell you he should have had. And maybe a little mix up there right before the fence. But that's one he should have had. Should be 2 outs right now. That'll bring the infield in for the Mets.
A sweet feeling that's got to be for Billy McKinney, who's been traded not once but twice this year, including from the Mets to the Dodgers. And here's Scherzer now with a chance to help himself out. There's a fly ball out to right center. It's going to tag and score McKinney. And we'll give Tim Kirkjian partial credit. Maybe not a base hit, but a sac fly tonight on his own behalf.
I mean, the total package. He's been throwing, he's been striking you out, he's been fielding, and now a productive at bat with a sacrifice fly. The exact thing that the Mets cannot execute. Fastball up, foot down, head down. Well done.
He's unbelievable, man. Probably told Billy McKinney, don't touch me, just like I told Dave Roberts. Don't touch me, dude.
McKinney said, I'm sorry.
like the character from Stripes. Don't touch me. The name's Francis Sawyer. 2 balls and no strikes to Trey Turner, who's in the midst of a perfect night. Billy McKinney has been traded twice this year. He spent 40 games as a Brewer, 39 games as a Met, now 19 games and counting as a Dodger, and the people at Topps Baseball Cards just have no idea which logo to put on his card this year. Don't touch him, Doc. Don't touch him. Don't do it. You avoided him. He didn't even look at Max.
That's outstanding.
You stare at him, you'll turn into a pillar of salt. It's 2-2 now to Trey Turner.
You know, the Mets still have the least amount of sacrifice fly, and they haven't hit a triple in 9 weeks. The Dodgers have done that in the last 60 seconds.
The Dodgers have actually scored 4 runs in the series alone via sac flies. And it's a full count to Turner now, 3-2. Both Turners have played prominent roles in the 7-2 lead tonight. 3-2 pitch. Lost him on ball 4. Gives us a chance to remind you that Play Ball is baseball and softball's initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play the game for all. Find a league near you. Go to playball.org and follow @PlayBall on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
The battles of sac flies and triples. 27 sac flies for the Dodgers, 14 for the Mets. Triples, 20 for the Dodgers, and only 6 for the Mets.
Here's Max Muncy now. He struck for a 2-run homer in the second. There goes Turner on the first pitch. Throw down to second is not close. dude can fly.
I mean, he's a total package, dynamic player with power and speed. 3 hits already, a walk, and now the stolen base.
Two balls and no strikes to Muncy. Well, if you need proof, sprint speed of 30.7 feet per second. That is tied for the fastest in the league, and he's got the 11 fastest runs by a Dodger this season, and he's been there for what? He's been active for like a week.
Incredible.
Muncy out to left center field again. Same spot, same result. Second 2-run dinger of the night for Max Muncy.
And for Muncy, waiting back on the changeup, almost to the exact same spot. 106 off the bat. And the Dodgers are putting an absolute hitting clinic here in Citi Field tonight. Wow.
The 4th Dodger homer of the game, the second by Muncy. 9-2 Los Angeles.
You know, Matty, we were here earlier this year watching the Dodger game from Bristol, and Muncy walked 5 times. He has an opportunity to lead the National League in on-base percentage if only he can get past Juan Soto. And if he does, that'll be the first Dodger in over 30 years since Pedro Guerrero. Man, these guys are good.
Three balls and no strikes, the count to Justin Turner. I mean, the Dodgers are threatening to turn this one into a laugher. And there's ball 4.
We talked about the Cowboys offense just wearing you down. Emmitt Smith go left, Emmitt Smith go right. The Dodgers, they just do not give any at-bats away. Both Muncy home runs, one led by a 2-out double by Turner.
Yeah.
And this time the walk and then the 2-run homer.
Going to have another visit by Jeremy Hefner. So I think if any advanced scouts from any National League postseason teams are watching, no more change-ups or splits to Max Muncy with 2 strike counts. How about that?
I like
That's
it.
A start.
And he won't chase, so you better throw strikes.
Right. That's, I mean, yeah.
And you package him, Matty, with a dynamic leadoff hitter who's right-handed, who has power and speed. He's a guy that's got eagle eye, and then behind him, Turner, another right-handed hitter, 2 righties, lefty sandwich in the middle, and all 3 control the strike zone.
He really is a nightmare to pitch to.
And there's a lot to like from his offense. It's not just a one-trick pony where they're going to hit home runs and strike out. They don't strike out. They're disciplined. They pass the baton, and they have more ways than just home run to beat you. And they've shown that tonight.
4 homers, 9 runs on 10 hits, and oh, by the way, Mookie Betts is on the IL. Here's Corey Seager. The bouncer for McNeil to finally wrap up another 3-run inning. Made possible by another 2-run homer by Max Muncy. 9-2 Dodgers. ESPN's telecast of Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell is brought to you by Midas. Tires, brakes, oil, everything. Four homers by the Dodgers tonight, including a pair of two-run shots by Max Muncy, part of their 9-2 lead. Hey, a reminder, great Major League Baseball action coming up on ESPN. A's and White Sox tomorrow at 8 Eastern. Red Sox Yankees on Wednesday night. And then Alex and I with Buster Olney back in the fold a week from tonight in Williamsport for the Little League Classic, the Angels and the Indians. All Dodgers on the road tonight as Jonathan Villar leads off the home sixth against Max Scherzer. You know, at one point there were a lot of people talking about a possible Dodgers-Mets postseason meeting. In fact, there are still some people optimistic that that might happen. There have been 3 of them over the years as Villar fouls that one away. The first of which 1988. It took 7 games for Oral Hershiser and the Dodgers to take care of the New York Mets, who were only 2 years removed from a World Series title. Of course, the Dodgers would go on to upend the heavily favored Oakland A's that year. And that was Oral's year. He was absolutely unhittable that season. Good 7-game LCS. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count to Jonathan Villar.
I'll never forget, I saw there Tommy Lasorda, Matty, and my first time on a professional field was at Vero Beach in 1993. They had the number 2 pick, and I thought I was going to go to the Dodgers. The Mariners, of course, had number 1, and I thought they were going to pick Darren Dreifort. At least that's what Baseball America had predicted. And I went up for a tryout, you know, down the road at Vero Beach from Miami. And it was a spring training game, and the dugouts, as you remember, they had no cover, so you can actually see right through both dugouts. And after the game, Tommy Lasorda threw me batting practice. And Fred Claire was there, and it was one of the biggest impacts of my career as a 16-year-old to be hitting batting practice in Dodgerland in Vero Beach. And Tommy Lasorda was so kind. He was so complimentary, and just letting me wear that Dodger blue, even for, you know, half an afternoon. It was a moment I'll never forget. And then of course, the Dodgers drafted Dreifort.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
The Mariners drafted me.
And before having arm trouble, Darren Dreifort had a great career. He was terrific, man. Wichita State guy. I remember seeing him pitch in Double-A. He was throwing a 93-mile-an-hour slider as a 17-year-old kid, 18-year-old kid. And you're like, whoa, who is this animal?
And a great hitter. Was hitting bombs as well. Two-way player.
He was great. That's one of those names where there's certain names, like whenever you hear the name Chipper Jones, you hear it in Skip Carey's voice. Chipper Jones. Like that's what you hear. Whenever I hear the name Darren Dreifort, I hear it in Ross Porter's voice, who spent many years alongside Vince Scully in the Dodger radio booth. Here's Darren Dreifort. That's just how you hear it. 0-2 the count from Max Scherzer to James McCann.
What else you got in there?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in my coconut.
And any Vince Scully?
Probably the end of it. There's a lot of Vinny, sure. You know, 2-2 to Harvey Keene.
Well, he's absolutely the greatest.
The greatest ever.
Oh, man.
Lined out to right for McKinney.
It's the best time of the year. The big plays and the hometowns going crazy. Let's hit some dingers and throw some heat. Let's just play. The Little League Softball World Series Championship.
Going to have a pinch hitter here with 2 guys on the bases empty. It's Travis Blankenhorn, who was recalled from AAA Syracuse last week. Blankenhorn was a waiver claim off of Seattle's roster back in June. He's been well traveled. At one point this year, Dodger property. They had him for about a week. Two balls and no strikes.
Matty, you hear the airplanes going by, and as a kid watching the Mets, they were my favorite teams. One of the best moments of my life was sitting in my mom's bedroom when she was at work, and that ball going through Bill Buckner's leg, obviously as a Met fan, is one that you go crazy over. But the airplanes remind me of Keith Hernandez, who was one of my favorite players, and every time the planes would go over, he would step out, take the helmet out. He had that great hair, great mustache. And Keith was the man, no batting gloves, no wristbands, and the captain. And he was the final piece to that great 1986 team. Of course, Gary Carter, Straw, such a fun era for baseball, and obviously a great time for the New York Mets.
Little glimpses of that success here in the new ballpark. I say new, place was opened in '09, back in 2015, that great World Series run, as Blankenhorn strikes out. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Max Scherzer, who has retired 8 in a row. Still 9-2 Dodgers. 99. Watch all out-of-market regular season games live or on demand, plus MLB big inning blackouts and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. And Max can finally kind of exhale and enjoy the fruits of a terrific start again tonight. He doesn't get out of game face mode until he is done. He'll stay just completely locked in.
Conversations and touching is back in play. He even kind of crack a smile there.
6 innings on the AARP pitching summary, 7 strikeouts. Pitched out of a couple of jams. No fewer than 3 poor defensive plays behind him. Yet he was able to bail the Dodgers out on each occasion. New pitcher for the Mets as we start the 7th inning. Right-hander Jeff Hartley was recalled from AAA Syracuse on August 14th.
One of 60th Mets to wear the uniform this year. Wow. It has been the year of the injury for the New York Mets this year.
I mean, we're seeing a lot of those stories with different clubs this year. And a lot of it makes sense coming off the 60-game shortened schedule last year. There have been more soft tissue injuries this season in the sport than we care to even go through. And as a result of that, smaller workloads last year, a lot of bodies have been used league-wide. There's Max finally in relax mode. We got out here early today, and when Max starts locking in, he starts visualizing plate appearances. He goes through a lot of exercises in the bullpen without the baseball. You'll see him simulating his delivery on flat ground without a glove on, without a baseball. Oh, and that one hits Smith.
As a two-seamer just gets away 97 miles an hour. Right in the tricep, above the pad. It always misses that pad.
Yeah. Story of Achilles' heel, right?
For the Mets, this was a show-me series, and they were just 2 swings away from being up 2-0. They never got those swings. And tonight, never competitive from the get-go. And now you're looking at your schedule and you go, the next 7, Dodgers and Giants.
Ouch.
Hang with them.
0-1 the count to Chris Taylor, who has struck out tonight 3 times. Oh, 0-2. Let me ask you this. Just as your opinion, say Kershaw comes back and he is 100%, no governor on him. How do you line these guys up for a postseason series? Buehler, Kershaw, Urias, who's been unbelievable this year. Say everybody's healthy. How do you cook up a rotation for the postseason?
Yeah, that's easy. Scherzer,
okay,
Kershaw, Buehler, and then maybe Urias. And the reason why I want to go righty, lefty, and completely different approaches on how they're pitching as hitters. It makes it incredibly challenging to have these type of angles attacking me for 4 days.
I think there are a lot of people. See Julio, who's been so good this year. I think there are a lot of people that would champion Walker Buehler as the #1. You can make a case for that. But I get you're separating the 2 righties and the 2 lefties for sure.
I have a couple reasons, Matt, if you allow me to explain what I learned from the great Joe Torre. #1, I'm going to pick experience over talent. So as a 37-year-old, I got it both. I got the experience and I have the talent. World champion. You talked about what he did in Game 7. Joe Torre always taught us that Game 3 was the most important game because the winner of Game 3 usually extends to win the series, and usually it's a swing game, and that was Andy Pettit's game. So to your point about Buehler being the Cy Young guy potentially this year, if he's your guy and he's not going to pitch 1, give him to me 3.
Okay. It's Bellinger now. Yeah, that makes sense.
Give me your 3.
Look, I'm a classic flip-flopper wobbler here. I'll talk myself into anything. But, oh, man. This is Kershaw's staff.
Yeah.
As long as he's in uniform, it'll be his staff. And I'm one for the pageantry of that. All right, I'll say Kershaw #1. Kershaw
#2 and 3.
You know what? Mix them up in a hat and pull them out, and I'm fine.
No.
That
That is so weak. You sound like a hedge fund. Give me something. Come on.
All right. Scherzer, Kershaw, Buehler, and then Urias is a secret weapon.
You just repeated what I said?
It's the first time I've ever agreed with you on anything.
Oh, my gosh.
I should have gone first. And an 0-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Second time Bellinger has struck out tonight.
And Belly's just not fully, doesn't have his legs underneath him. He's late, and you see him back in his heels. He just doesn't look very athletic. And you're talking about one of the greatest athletes in our game who has tremendous power, arguably the fastest guy on the team until Turner got there and Betts. But he's a world-class guy. He needs to get back, his legs underneath him, and really sink in.
Yeah, the big velo giving him a hard time, as you can see there. 21 strikeouts in 36 plate appearances, with pitches ending at 95 or hotter.
And we say it over and over again about being on time, but again, when you're a tall guy and you have long arms, you know, you think about guys like Kirk Gibson back in the day, or even Dave Winfield, myself, Jeter. Long arms, it is vital to be on time.
2 balls and a strike to McKinney.
And Matty, we'll show you here on the left what it means when you're late. And watch his ball. He's underneath. He loses the barrel underneath. And then on the right side, in his MVP year, watch him get that foot down, head down. The barrel's always on top and on time. And here's the good news for the Dodgers. This guy is a world-class supreme talent. He's an MVP winner. Get in the cage, get that foot down, get some reps. By the way, nobody does it better than Justin Turner. We talked about it all the time. He would get on that machine and hit some gas. Well, guess what? If you got to get gas from 45 feet, you got to get that foot down. You got to stay up tall, and that barrel always stays on top.
Swing and a miss by McKinney. And the throw down to finish the out and retire the side. 7th inning stretch at Citi Field. All Dodgers tonight.
Smooth slide that got a lot of attention on social media the other day. What can you tell us about that?
I've been sliding like that for a long time. I tried to not hit the ground very hard. You know, some fields are a little tough, and get up off the ground as quick as I can with the pop-up slide. And I guess it looked pretty slick, and everybody ate it up.
You met your wife Kristen at NC State, where she was a gymnast. How much do you guys compete against each other?
We have the argument every so often, maybe once a year, what's harder, baseball or gymnastics? So we go back and forth there. I can't argue. She's probably more athletic than me, I can tell you that.
Your son Beckham's middle name is Dash. What's the backstory there?
Tim Bogar, the bench coach for the Nationals, we were going back and forth. We hadn't picked a name yet, and he came up to me and he goes, "You got to name your kid Dash." We put it together with Beckham Dash Turner. We thought it sounded pretty good in our heads, so we went with it, and now he's got to live up to the name.
Who was your favorite player growing up and why?
Two favorite players were Griffey and Jeter. Caught a Ken Griffey Jr. foul ball at a Cincinnati Reds Marlins game when I was a kid. You know, Derek Jeter was just a winner, and try to be, just like them when I was a kid.
Some players like to wear their championship ring. Other players don't. They put them away. Where do you stand on that? How often do you wear it?
I try to wear it, but I'm scared. I've probably only worn it maybe 3 times or so since we won it, but I try to keep it in a safe place and not lose it. I'm scared I'm going to break it or lose it or who knows what. So, definitely cherish that thing, and hopefully we can get another one.
Well, that's the goal in Los Angeles for sure, and today standing witness to how good this team is. The whole weekend, really. Extra innings wins on Friday and Saturday. And commanding lead tonight as we enter the bottom half of the 7th. Thanks to Buster, who will be back with us next week in Williamsport. And the newest Dodger to make his Dodger debut. He was just activated today. His re-debut, that is. 5 appearances for Darian Nunez. He was activated right before first pitch tonight. Had missed 7 games on the IL. Spent some time at AA Tulsa, AAA Oklahoma City. Zach McKinstry was optioned down to make room for Nunez. Cuban-born left-hander will draw the top of the order. Nemo, Conforto, and Alonso. And he gets a 7-run lead to work with.
Basically 2-pitch mix, fastball, changeup.
Nine runs on 10 hits, an error for Los Angeles. 4 homers in their attack tonight. 2 runs on just 4 hits for the Mets this evening. And both teams headed to the West Coast as soon as this one's over tonight. The Dodgers back home, and the Mets out to San Francisco. Three balls and a strike to Brandon Nimmo. We started out tonight talking about how the Mets lineup was averaging just 3.5 runs a game at home this year. And there's ball 4 to Nimmo. A good take there on 3-1. You know, again, it's a roster that is without some of its big thunder, but since 2015, the World Series year, they have been a better offense away from Citi Field than they have at home. I mean, I'd almost be willing to write some of that off as coincidence. They have brought the outfield dimensions in here since the place opened in 2009. It's a beautiful ballpark. I mean, nobody that comes here to play or visit is a fan that doesn't absolutely love the place. Here's Conforto now.
Matty, we were talking earlier about how comfortable hitters get with their hitting coaches. And Chili Davis, under his tutelage, Conforto had his best career year in 2020. McNeil and Davis had best average seasons. Dom Smith wins the Hank Aaron Award. And of course, you know, the big guy Alonso hits 53 home runs. I know that as a hitter, when you take that away, a lot goes out the door. And there's a lot of pressure on the guy that's entering the clubhouse, not only to be the right guy for mechanics, but more importantly, to mentally be able to connect and trust. That's the most challenging part.
And that's line pass. Turner into right. Nimmo to the next station. A promising start to the inning for the Mets. A single and a walk. Runners at first and second with nobody out. A reminder, the MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to the ballpark. Buy and manage game tickets, redeem offers, access exclusive content, and more. Download the Ballpark app today. Well, if Big Pete Alonso can lean into one here, we have something to talk about. As it stands, it's a 7-run deficit. Runners aboard, but nobody out here in the 7th. Alonso has doubled in 3 trips to the plate tonight. Only 3 RBIs in his last 15 games, but an opportunity here with first and second.
Matty, you talked about, as a player, did I look forward to what was next, or do we have to win this many games to X that? Here's what I used to do. In situations like this, we have 3 innings left. This is the first 3 innings for the next series, and setting the tone is very important. That's an at-bat Alonso's not going to like. But setting the tone now, forget about the score. 9-2. What can we do now that we can build and feel good when we get on that charter going west, that we can feel good about and recap? Because there's always a recap on the plane. It usually involves a little vino and a little conversation. How do we get this right, fellas? Change up there and a little disconnected there. Out in front.
Been a rough night for Dom Smith. He has stranded 3 runners as a part of an 0 for 3. He'll have 1 away, first and second. That almost hit him.
Change up.
Ball to no strikes. Max Scherzer went 6 tonight. Nunez out of the bullpen here in the 7th. You know, this is a Mets team that was alone at the top of the standings in the NL East for 90 consecutive days between May 8th through August 5th. 90 straight days alone in the top spot. When you scratch at it, however, though, they did that by playing just a few games over 500, meaning it was the division's inability to kind of get hot and have somebody conquer them. And the Phillies were that team when they reeled off a long winning streak last week. But the Phils now a game back of the Braves. The Mets 2 off the pace.
Not too many teams can take a blow like missing the best pitcher in the world, DeGrom, and just taking him out of that pitching rotation. Lindor not getting off to an ideal start and then getting injured. Baez comes in and ownership tries to go out and double down and does a nice job picking up Baez. He gets hurt. Syndergaard is around the corner. So not all injuries are created equal, even though it feels like there's an epidemic out there that a lot of people are getting hurt. Not too many teams are missing their star player, shortstop, Gold Glover, and the Cy Young, who, by the way, was a runaway for him with possible MVP vote in DeGrom.
Hey, there's ball 4. Good plate appearance by Dom Smith. Keeps the line moving and loads the bases here in the 7th inning with only 1 away. And I think we're going to see a pitching change. Dave Roberts is not taking a 7-run lead for granted. Yeah, that's going to be all for Nunez. Edwin Uceta coming in from the Los Angeles bullpen. A pitching change with the bases loaded, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. Telecast presented by Taco Bell. Sports Center follows the Mets and Dodgers tonight. It's Sports Center with John Anderson and Michael Eaves. Post-game reaction from Citi Field and inside a Yankees streak and their road to a postseason appearance. Plus an in-depth look at the rookie quarterbacks seeing their first NFL action. Sports Center next, right here on ESPN and the ESPN app. Edwin Osetta is the new pitcher on the mound for the Dodgers. Rookie right-hander in a tough spot. Yes, he has a 7-run lead, but he's got the bases loaded and one gone. And pitching to Jeff McNeil, who has driven in a run tonight. A ball and a strike. Dave Roberts mentioned that we could possibly see Brusdar Graterol tonight. He's got a lot of outs still to get here. And so too early for Graterol, perhaps. A ball and 2 strikes.
And Osetta fastball, slider, change, has had problems all year long throwing strikes, even on mop-up situations like this one. Only 23 years old, from Dominican Republic.
He is among the more well-rested Dodgers and a bullpen that's done a lot of work over the weekend. There's Graterol up. The Mets are still without a hit with runners in scoring position, 0 for 10. And it's a ball and 2 strikes on Jeff McNeil. Yeah, it's been a rough series in that regard for the Mets. Situational hitters. Yikes. Nimmo, Conforto, and Smith aboard with one gone. Easy take on a fastball that sails. Phil Bickford pitched last night. Corey Knebel pitched last night. Alex Vesia pitched last night. And then you got guys like Jansen and Trinan, who both pitched on Friday. Now, the Dodgers have turned over their bullpen a lot this year. We saw Darian Nunez. They have used 8 left-handed relievers this year, have the Dodgers.
Wow.
So rookie right-hander trying to mitigate this situation. The next 2-2 pitch, and McNeil, that one misses him and it bounces away. It's a wild pitch that brings Nimmo in to score. It sounded like it hit Nimmo.
Sure did.
It may have hit the home plate umpire. Might have hit Pat Hoberg.
It certainly looked like a hit, McNeil.
It just checked up. I don't think it hit anybody.
And that's probably exactly accurate, because a hitter will tell you with his body language and reaction if it hit him. And there was no real reaction from McNeil, so it must have missed him, as you see there.
What we heard was the clank off the glove. Missed again, and that reloads the bases. This has gotten interesting here.
You know, Davis is coming up. He's never had a career grand slam, but if you're Doc Roberts, you want to make sure you lock this up, button it up, get on that plane, and go west. Do not give the Mets any opportunity to wake up.
The Mets have scored 3 runs tonight without the benefit of a hit with runners in scoring position. 2 RBI groundouts, and then a wild pitch here in the 7th. And here's Davis for a 4th time. He has struck out 3 times tonight.
And Tim Welke is talking to the pitcher. Maybe wants to check for sweating or cleaning up something. Yep. Bill Walke, the first base umpire, the crew chief. I've never quite seen that before.
Yeah.
But
hey, you know, here, towel off. Son.
Yeah. Good sportsmanship.
Yeah, I guess. Well, here we go with J.D. Davis, and we've said this before tonight, but another golden opportunity for them to get right back in it. And it's a ball and no strikes. Only 14 RBIs for Davis. It has been an injury-marred campaign for J.D. Jonathan Villar's had a nice night at the plate with a couple of hits and a run scored. The switch hitter waits next. A ball and a strike. Well, the Dodgers have let the Mets hang around here, and you just get the sense that on a night when you get Scherzer as dominant as he was and always is, and you get 4 homers, that, you know, the patient shouldn't have a pulse at this point, if you know what I mean. Like, the Mets have life here.
Yes, they do.
On a night when they have been beaten up.
One swing of the bat can make it a 2-run game.
There's a swing and a drive out to center field. Bellinger at the wall to put it away. Conforto will tag up and score, and man, did J.D. Davis come close to that very scenario. Oh boy.
Davis has not had a career grand slam. That would have been his first. I'm wondering why Dom Smith is standing at second base when he should be standing at third base and moved over on that sac fly. And with the left-handed hitter, that's a pivotal mistake, because now Muncy gets to play back and the defense is a lot more ready. If he's at third base, it opens up more holes for the left-handed hitter. These are the little things, Matt, that I'm talking about. Little mistakes. You win championships in the nuances, being really laser focused on the details.
Who set his first pitch to Jonathan Villar's in for a strike. Max Scherzer tonight, through his 6 innings of work, had a strike percentage of 69%. The strike rate of the relievers so far that the Dodgers have used, 39%. 3 walks this inning. And it's 0-2 to Villar.
For the Mets, at least they get their 15th sacrifice fly of the year.
I mean, we've talked about how they've scored tonight without the benefit of a hit with runners in scoring position. The last 6 runs they've scored in the series, 2 on wild pitches, 3 on groundouts, and then 1 on a hit. That was the Conforto homer yesterday against Walker Buehler. 0-2. Got him looking. Mets will settle with 2 in their half of the 7th. On to inning number 8 in a now 9-4 Dodger lead. Monday Night Baseball is presented by Taco Bell. Well, the Mets aren't going away quietly tonight. It is a 9-4 Dodger lead as we welcome you back for the top half of inning number 8. 4 homers tonight for Los Angeles, including a pair by Max Muncy. Max Scherzer great through 6 innings. And it'll be the number 9 spot that leads off in the 8th. Edwin Uceta will get a plate appearance. It's been a theme tonight. Setup guys and middle relievers getting at bats. Acetta's 0 for 3 as a hitter this year. He'll be followed by Trey Turner and Max Muncy.
Dodgers, no Betts, no Kershaw, no problem. Mets, no DeGrom, no Lindor, big problems.
0-2. After hitting the first batter he faced, Jeff Hartlieb struck out 3 in a row. A ball and 2 strikes. It's been a grinder of a series. 4 hours and 18 minutes on Friday. Extra innings last night. Hey, that's going to be a tough chance for J.D. Davis. He won't be able to make the play. First career knock for Edwin Uceta.
And that ball comes out. That's a collector's item. And I'll tell you, when it rains, it pours. Little slider, nips it enough, and nothing Davis can do. And Max Scherzer is probably sitting up there saying, is it that easy? Are you kidding me?
He did have a handful of hits in Double-A a couple of years ago. I mean, I get it. That's Double-A is Double-A, but that's his first career big league knock. And here's Turner now, who's done nothing but hit month by month. The only player with at least a 300 batting average in each month of the season. Trying to keep that alive in August. There's a fly ball out to center, and Nimmo waits for it to come down. It's been quite a weekend for Max Muncy. 3 for 9 with a couple of doubles in the first 2 games of the series. On Friday night, somebody, a fan, someone had a laser pointer focused in his face. And the Dodgers Twitter account very cheekily, after a 2-homer night tonight, sending this out. Second homer of the night. Max is laser focused.
And the Mets will not be retweeting that. Safe to say.
Indeed. 1 out, 1 on for Muncy, looking for a 3rd homer tonight. Strikes. Justin Turner is homered. He waits on deck behind Muncy. If you're wondering, Muncy has never enjoyed a 3-homer night. You know, because the National League MVP race is a little unclear, and maybe it clarified itself with the 2 homers by Fernando Tatis tonight.
You mean Superman?
Superman, yeah. You know, a guy like Max Muncy, he would probably be your candidate if it were a Dodger that you would submit, right? I mean, Chris Taylor's been great this year.
I think it's a safe call. There's another walk, 2 home runs. Well, I mean, he just does it every night. Shows up every day. That discipline, the ability not to chase, to pass the baton. And then when you have a guy, a right-handed hitter like Turner, who's a clutch hitter, a contact guy, boy, I tell you what, it makes it really, really tough to face this lineup.
We'll refresh you with the ranks that we hit for you earlier. And look, keep in mind that August had not gone real well for Max until this series. Entering tonight, he was 8 for 40 this month, batting 200 with 1 homer. So much of that damage happened before the All-Star break, but really in 1 weekend here in New York, Max just turned it back around. Here's Turner now. A 2-run homer and 2 walks for Justin Turner tonight.
You know, one thing, when you look at the Dodgers and you just take a step back, with the swing and miss epidemic that goes on in baseball, you don't see a lot of Dodgers hitters swinging poorly, check swinging, being out of control, not balanced. And you see that all around baseball, and it's, guess what, forgiven. Give credit to the Dodger front office that they look for players like Muncy, like Turner. It's not just all home runs and strikeouts. The 200 strikeout per batter is not something they accept. And as a result, I mean, there it is. I mean, they just do not chase. Whether the score is 9-4 or 4-4, they're going to be consistent and have a championship approach all day long.
What I love about that list is that, I mean, those are all great teams this year. There's no outlier. There's no, second division team that appears on that list. So you could definitely correlate the low chase rate to success. Turner sends that one out to right. Conforto has room in that extra corner, and he makes the catch. Who's set at a third.
Introducing the Grubhub Guarantee. Our promise to deliver your order on time within the delivery window and for the lowest price compared to other apps. Or you'll get back at least $5 in perks.
You know, you also need some luck, Matt. I mean, you look at a guy like Justin Turner. In his 4 years with the Mets, the most home runs he ever hit was 4. With the Dodgers, 27 in a couple seasons, and another one of 21. And needless to say, his performance in the postseason has been stellar.
Yeah. Runners at the corners with 2 gone now for Corey Seager, who has singled tonight. Very consistent in 21 career games against the Mets. That one in the dirt. Advancing is Muncy, and he'll get the second on a wild pitch.
You know, Matty, this is an offense that if I'm the other 29 teams, I'm trying to recreate this offense. Discipline, contact. Remember, exit velocity only matters if you make contact.
Well, when we become so in love with those fancy numbers, right? You're right. Contact is still king. Changeup misses, a ball and a strike. The set of the runner at third. And Muncy after the wild pitch at second with 2 gone. And it's 3-0 to last year's NLCS and World Series MVP.
So this is where the sportsmanship game comes into play, Matty. Is he swinging or not? 5-run lead, top of the 8th.
Now you're swinging here, right?
There you go.
Add on. Unless it's a wide one like that. And there's ball 4 to load the bases. Neither bullpen faring very well in terms of strike rate tonight. Second walk of the inning by Hartlieb, and that's going to bring Jeremy Hefner back out to the mound again. You know, as we watch Corey Seager's plate appearance, we talk about it so often. You know, the great shortstop free agent class of this 21-22 offseason. And Seager is right there with guys like Trevor Story, Carlos Correa, Javi Baez, Marcus Semien, and a guy who doesn't get any mention, who's having the best year of his career, was 34 years old in San Francisco, and that's Brandon Crawford. We didn't have him on that list when all this, shortstop free agent talk began. He's having one of the best years of anybody in that group.
And a guy that should be mentioned in the MVP talks. And a guy that just a few years ago, people were saying, is he done?
Well,
he's answered that question.
The Giants certainly paid attention to the conversation, and this weekend re-upped him for 2 more. Here's a strike to Will Smith. Smith is homered tonight. Smith is homered in every game this weekend. Will Smith is he's turning into one of those clutch guys. He is still in the infancy of his major league career. He had 5 go-ahead hits in the Dodgers' last at-bat this year, including a big homer against the Giants to walk it off on July 20th. Big offensive upside at catcher.
And plays the game easy. Doesn't overdo it. Lets the game come to him, and very, very poised.
So he's made about a season's worth of starts in his career. 161. 36 homers, 112 RBIs, 99 runs scored. That's a pretty good full year.
Indeed. And looking for a second career grand slam.
How about a 2-run single? (11-4) Los Angeles.
A relentless approach by the Dodger offense all night, all weekend. 2-2 fastball, 95 bullet. How many times have we seen 2-out hitting, 2-strike hitting, passing the baton? You know, I remember playing series like this against teams like the Red Sox. And Matty, when you play 3 or 4 games like this over a weekend, I mean, there goes.
More damage. Chris Taylor finally gets into the act. He'd struck out 4 times tonight. An RBI double for him. 12-4 Dodgers.
Eight out of the 12 runs have come after 2 outs. Taylor 0 for 4, 4 Ks, double, couple ribbies.
He was not going to strike out a 5th time. He was going to hack early and put it in play.
And listen, 1 for 5 with a double and 2 ribbies saves the day.
Forget about the strikeouts.
Makes that 6-hour flight back home to LA about 3 hours. But I was saying, when you play series like this, and I played in so many of them, Matty, you want to sleep till like Wednesday or Thursday. And there is a hangover usually on Monday or Tuesday. You're just tired or you're beat. If you talk about time of possession, it's probably 80% to 20%. On football terms, the Mets, it feels like they played 3 games. It feels like they played 6 or 7 games.
A ball and a strike to Cody Bellinger, the 8th Dodger to bat in the inning. Mets have Trevor May up in the bullpen. I just get the sense that Luis Rojas wants to get through this with Hartlieb and not have to use another arm here. Bellinger fades a pop into foul territory, and Davis hangs on. Does he make the catch? He does to end the inning. More Dodger damage in the 8th. 3 more runs on 3 more hits. 12-4 Los Angeles. Brought to you by Geico. Plenty of Dodger damage. 4 homers, including a pair of 2-run shots by Max Muncy. Will Smith has homered in all 3 games of the series. Added 2 more RBIs last half inning. Max Scherzer didn't need that much support, but he was happy for it. As for the Mets, 4 runs without the benefit of a hit with runners in scoring position. 0 for 12 in that regard tonight. Edwin Uceta continues on the mound for Los Angeles, and to get the 8-9 then top of the order for the Mets. James McCann hitless tonight, and it's 0-2. Matt Beatty has taken over at first base for Los Angeles. So I guess, you know, try to be a positive guy, Alex. You're looking for some positives for the Mets tonight.
That'll be a first. I like when you get fired up more.
Yeah. You know, a team that's in the hunt, that is decimated by injuries as the Mets are, you know, you think about the path to getting to where they want to get to, and that's the postseason. They have 10 left in September with the Cubs and Pirates combined, right? A chance to get healthy there. Those are two teams that have been in pretty rough straits. They've got a 3-game series with the Nationals, a team they just swept last week. There's Brandon Drury now.
So I think, Matt, if you're the Mets, you're hoping for two things. One, you want to get to the West Coast and play .500 baseball against these two great teams, Dodgers and San Fran. And the other thing is you want to allow yourself some time to get DeGrom, Lindor, Baez, get these guys healthy and get ready for that September run.
You want to talk about what the injury bug has done to the Mets. It has damaged them, according to WAR, more so than any other franchise. And the Dodgers are running a close second there, but the difference is that the Dodgers have so much depth, they've been able to overcome those body blows.
And the addition of Scherzer and Turner, the time could not be better for them.
Brandon Drury sends a fly ball to left for Chris Taylor. I want to correct myself on that schedule note, by the way, because they do have a series left with the Nationals, but the Mets are done with the Pirates and Cubs. So my mistake. I apologize for that. No apology needed for this. Making his first career major league start, a no-hitter yesterday against a very good San Diego Padres team. Yes, the Padres were without Fernando Tatis Jr. yesterday, but with a lot of support in the stands, a full family there. A pretty great night for Tyler Gilbert.
Matty, my favorite thing is watching the father. I mean, he probably feels like he threw 3 no-hitters. He's going to need to sleep for a week. He was so excited. You see the hug afterwards. The mom, the family, that's terrific.
27-year-old rookie. First career big league start. Joins Edwin Jackson and Randy Johnson, just the third by a Diamondback. I think Ejax walked a bunch of hitters when he had his. I think he walked 8 when he had his no-hitter for Arizona. 7 walks for him. Matty, not only his first no-hitter, first career complete game at any level.
And Matty, my hope is that's what makes baseball the greatest game in the world. I hope there's a young kid out there, or even someone who's a journeyman in the minors, saying, because of this young man and what he did, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep fighting and being resilient and showing that persistence that it takes to be a Major League Baseball player. Great story.
Ball and 2 strikes on Brandon Nimmo. Batting with 2 out and the base is empty, last of the 8th.
27-year-old rookie. I mean, Edgar Martinez, who's now in the Hall of Fame, was around a 27-year-old rookie.
Was he really? He was that old when he debuted?
Yeah.
I mean, I say old.
Yeah. I better be right, because Twitter's going to crush me in about 5 minutes.
Don't worry. I just got the Mets schedule wrong. It's already it's already a thing.
I just want to divide some of the criticism. No, but again, Edgar Martinez, a guy who was a fine hitter, didn't have a lot of power, was a third baseman that came up, then had some knee injuries and became a world-class DH. But it took him a while. Sometimes in baseball, it takes time to mature and become a great player. Guess what? Hall of Famer.
The aspect of the Gilbert no-hitter that I like, and you like all of it, but I like the fact that the Diamondbacks had something to hang their cap on this year, because it's been a really rough year in the desert.
Absolutely.
2-2. And a called strike 3 taken by Nimmo. On to the ninth. 12-4 Los Angeles. Well, it's been that kind of night for the New York Mets. Brandon Drury will pitch the ninth. First career pitching appearance. And he'll face the 8-9 top of the order hitters here in a lopsided game, with the Mets in the midst of a 13-game gauntlet between the two best teams in the National League. And heading on a plane tonight for a game in San Francisco tomorrow. Luis Rojas has opted for a position player in the ninth inning.
And Rich Hill, starting pitcher tomorrow, still in the Mets clubhouse, did not fly ahead. Charter should probably land 3 or 4 in the morning. So interesting to keep an eye on Rich Hill.
Yeah, I would imagine that the COVID protocols has everything to do with not sending the starter out a day early, which had been long-standing practice in baseball. Keep Rich off the commercial chart, or the commercial flight today. He'll be with the team.
And usually managers and organizations, most of them, will give a veteran pitcher the option to fly ahead, have a nice dinner, and get ready for your start. Matt, do you mind if I talk a little big picture here?
I would love it.
I think
you don't want to break down Brandon Drury pitch by pitch?
I'd rather not, but I did see that he throws a little knuckleball there. And the Mets fans give him a nice cheer here. There's two things in my mind that have to change in baseball. One is all the walks, especially by all the relievers. A lot of rock throwers that have no idea where the ball's going. And the second one is this all or nothing approach hitting that, of course, leads to strikeout after strikeout. If baseball wants quicker games, it doesn't matter what happens. The walks and the strikeouts, big issue. And you can make all the rule change you want, but ultimately the quality of the game, there's a knuckleball, is going to be so much better if guys can throw strikes, and there's an approach up there that has tremendous recourse if you punch out.
By the way, I feel like this matchup should be flip-flopped. Edwin Uceta, middle reliever, making his second plate appearance. Brandon Drury, a position player, pitching to him. And the count is even at 2-2.
And I tell you what, the knuckleball grip.
2 up, 2 down for Brandon Drury. And by the way, it was flip-flop. He pitched to him last inning. Speaking of Uceta pitching to Drury.
Here's the knuckleball grip. That wasn't it. That wasn't it. But position players with knuckleballs reminds me of Wade Boggs, who had a fantastic knuckleball.
Did he really?
Oh yeah. I mean, he would play catch with him, and you could barely catch it. And he got in there finally and threw a couple innings, and was very successful.
Yeah, and Trey Turner gets hit by the pitch. Remember I said you give the guy the green light on a 3-0 count when it was 9-4?
Yep.
The same thing does not apply to Trey Turner in the ninth inning in a 12-4 game on base.
That's correct.
He will not be running here.
And there's no one happier than Turner to get hit by a knuckleball. Mid-60s.
Oh, Matt Beatty's hit a homer. 2-run shot, top tank. Oh my. Wow. First pitch he's seen tonight. And a 2-run home run. 14-4 Los Angeles.
.67 miles an hour. Right down Broadway. 67. You barely get pulled over on the highway for that.
And here's Justin Turner now. And I'm sure a lot of the pundits will have opinions as to whether or not things like this should even continue in the game. There are a lot of people that feel like when it comes to this, a position player mopping up, bang it, shut it down. Oh, 0-2 the count to Justin Turner. At best, in a situation like this, nobody gets hurt.
Good point.
2-2. Because there's no win for anybody here. The trailing team is obviously taxed and waving a white flag. Turner's going to spray one into the corner. And he'll put the brakes on around first base, wisely so. 2-out single. A look at the upcoming schedule on ESPN tomorrow. A's and White Sox 8 p.m. from the south side. Wednesday, Red Sox and Yankees in the Bronx. And then Sunday, the Little League Classic in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. The Angels and Indians on Sunday Night Baseball. I'll say this for Brandon Drury. He works quick. I love his pace.
And throw strikes.
He got the first 2 hitters. Then he hit Trey Turner. And then the homer by Beatty. And now back-to-back singles as Seager's aboard. Will Smith has made a big impact in the series. He's homered in all 3 games, driven in 3 runs tonight. How many times did you hit against a position player? Was it a lot? Was it a handful?
My guess would be under 10.
Anything you remember? Like
nothing good. It's all lose for the hitter.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get a hit, you're like, okay, great. But usually he gets you out, and you just like you're gonna have a hard time sleeping at night.
I mean, you know, really, you're supposed to get the hit, right? You're supposed to homer, and then you feel like, what am I doing piling on?
Exactly.
Who's the most notable? Do you remember a notable position player, like somebody? It's usually a guy like Brandon Drury, who's a utility player. No offense. It's never a star that's out there. Like, you never faced David Ortiz on the mound, is what I'm saying.
No.
Okay.
No. I remember Kent Griffey used to always harass Lou Piniella about letting him pitch 1 inning. And Lou Piniella was like, are you crazy? You're my MVP center fielder and hitting 3rd. Not under my watch.
The fans are enjoying this. The Mets fans have a really well-earned reputation of sticking around, as so many of them have tonight in the face of a 10-run deficit.
You know, one thing about being a player, when 60% of the folks go home, or 70, the people that are left back, they've been having a few cocktails, and they really want to become expressive here in New York, and you hear everything so clearly.
Right. It's like going to open mic night at the Ha Ha Hole, and you get the 12:22 a.m. slot. The only people in the club are those that are there to give you a hard time.
Absolutely.
And I think Luis Rojas is going to try someone else. It's going to be Kevin Pillar. Well, Brandon Drury did what he could, and The Mets will use a different position player now to look for the final out in the inning. I don't know that Kevin Pillar was even warming up, so he'll have a chance to do that here. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Well, the Mets are trying to get through the inning with multiple position players on the mound. Brandon Drury got the first 2 outs, leaves with some runs in, and the base is loaded for Chris Taylor, who sends a ball fouled and left. Home plate umpire Pat Hoberg is doing his best to kind of expedite a conclusion tonight, noting the grueling travel night that's ahead of both teams and the kind of lost nature of this. It's a ball and 2 strikes on Taylor. And I'll say this is a weird kind of sidetrack, but if they go to automated strike zones, you lose the ability to do something like this, to widen the zone and get to the finish line. That's why having a human back there, in my mind, is the right thing.
I couldn't agree with you more. I'm a big fan of the human behind the plate, controlling the game, being able to expand the strike zone like you mentioned. You know, to your point earlier, Matt, which I thought was a great one, if a team is waving the white flag, you give them an opportunity to go out, you know, in a nice way and end the game. The other part is the Mets have thrown over 200 pitches tonight.
Taylor sends a ball to right center, and that puts a merciful end to the top of the 9th. We're going to the bottom of the inning. 14-4 Dodgers. Well, Max Scherzer didn't need this kind of support, but he certainly appreciates it. 4 homers by the Dodgers make it 5 if you count Matt Beatty's pinch hit homer against the position player. A pair of 2-run shots by Max Muncy. 14 runs on 16 hits, and all smiles for the visitors, who are 3 outs away from a road sweep in Flushing, Queens tonight. Hoping that it'll be the final pitching change of the game, Dave Roberts goes with Connor Green to work the bottom half of inning number 9 to the shortstop hole. Great play by Seager, but the throw's too late, and it's an infield single for Michael Conforto.
Reined into his right, but Conforto runs too well and beats it easily.
So now Pete Alonso. I always think of John Kruk's line, and it was before Krucky became a broadcaster, his years on ESPN and his current role as a Phillies analyst. When the Phillies were saddled with a huge deficit at Dodger Stadium, ironically, Alonso sends a fly ball out to right. And Krucky said, after the Phillies came back to win with a bunch of runs late, he said to reporters after the game, I thought they had a better chance of finding Amelia Earhart than we did of coming back to win that game. One gone here in the bottom of the 9th. Dominic Smith, the batter. Connor Green, a Santa Monica kid. He was a waiver claim off the Orioles roster earlier this year. Another guy that's played for more than 2 teams this season. We've seen a few of those guys in this game tonight. Fly ball for Taylor. And the Mets are down to their last out. quick reminder, tomorrow our ESPN Plus matchup. Speaking of the Orioles, first of 4 between the Birds and the Rays at the Trop. Our coverage begins at 7 Eastern. To get the ESPN Plus, go to ESPNplus.com or download the ESPN app. Jeff McNeil represents a last chance tonight. Both teams in action on the West Coast tomorrow. Dodgers going home to start a homestand with Pittsburgh, and then these Mets for 4 over the weekend. And the Mets off to San Francisco for a series, the first place Giants. That's slicing in left, racing into the corner is Taylor, and it's a foul ball. Again, in a night like this, 10-run game, you don't want to see somebody getting hurt.
Yeah, you don't like to see that slide. That you appreciate Taylor playing hard, but my goodness, so much can go wrong in that corner there.
Oh, 0-2 to Jeff McNeil. Out there again and slicing foul. Speaking of the Giants, they were winners again today, a 5-2 victory over the Rockies. And as well as the Dodgers have been playing, and we talked about this when we went on the air, they've won 6 of 7. We'll call it 7 of 8 after this one's put to bed. And they will have gained a single game on San Francisco during that stretch, as the Giants just failed to give any ground. This one's a final 14-4 for the Dodgers. For Alex Rodriguez, Matt Vasgersian, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next Sunday in Williamsport. Coming up next, Sports Center with John Anderson and Michael Lears. Take it away, boys.